Not fucking Harper.
It's Trudeau.
No matter what he does, even if he screws up, it's like, look, I'm not Harper.
Yep.
I know, really, that's a...
Yeah.
You can't blame
Here we
him.
go.
It's not Harper.
Holy shit, Northwest Territories. All the territories went liberals. Wait, Quebec's mostly liberal? Now here's the election map at the moment. The red is not conservative in this case.
Yeah. Right, got it.
The Green Party, they got their one seat.
They did. They got a voice.
Red stands for communists. I got it.
Where did they get their seat from?
Usually out in BC, there's always a riding that votes Green Party.
Yeah.
Actually, it may not be.
No?
Hang on a minute.
That's their big block is out there. They would get this one riding that votes for them.
I know. Actually, it may be Ontario.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
I'm looking.
Okay, it's the person's name is Elizabeth May, so I'm not sure where she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably. I don't. Oh wait. Down on this side. Let's see. Con.
Oh, here we go. Green Party's Elizabeth May almost didn't get to vote for herself because she forgot proper ID.
Okay, that is kind of fun.
Well, there's a card you bring, your voting card, and then you bring your at least a driver's license.
Yeah.
I bring my driver's license.
That's nuts. Totally red for the Maritime provinces. There's PEI, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia.
Yep.
By the way,
Right.
I'm up here. Can you see my?
Yep.
Here.
Yep.
I'm up here. Max is down here.
Right, go back to that again, Paranor. Sorry.
I never left.
There we go.
I sit about here.
Yeah.
And Max is down here.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, Paranor, do you vote on a national basis or a provincial basis? I mean, on a riding basis. You know, based on candidate or based on, party head.
Well, I won't do party, but it depends on the person as well. I actually didn't vote this time. My bad, I know, but I really hate people right now, so fuck.
Always a good reason.
No, if you've been following my feed, you know why. So.
Yeah.
Well, I know how you feel. I barely got a chance to vote. What happened was it was like 7:45, and I just had to rush to my nearest voting place. So no car, had to walk down there, and ironically voted with my driving license.
Yeah. Well, my license is also expired. I know Shar said that they haven't been instructed to decline expired licenses as long as the picture is the same address and all that. But yeah, no. The interesting thing in our riding, the King's Hand, Scott Bryson. There's a bit of a history with him. He used to be PC, and then the gay marriage thing came through, or was being challenged. He's a gay man.
Whoops.
And his own party fucked him over, so he went liberal.
Wow.
And he's still in.
Wow.
After all, he's been in for, holy shit, at least 10 years.
Yep.
So he's well liked. But it's
can
because of
understand.
him, not the party he does. It's him. So. Excuse me. Yeah, he got almost 71% of the vote.
I hope our voter turnout rate is much better. That's my main concern.
Well,
Because-
they've been saying for a while that this year's turnout has been incredible. Just leaps and bounds over last time. Great.
I mean, last time was it like 60% or something?
Well, I saw a 70% thing earlier, but that could have been like on a percentage of the percentage, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, did you by any chance get to see John Oliver's bid on the Canadian election?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was hilarious. Yeah. I loved the part where Justin Trudeau fell down the flight of stairs.
Yeah.
Favorite part, hands down.
I thought Canadians were supposed to be nice. Wait a minute.
No, it's a trick that he does.
Oh, okay.
Although, what's funny is he actually fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
It was
But no,
like, watch this trick. Oh, I'm actually falling down the stairs. And no, he actually fell down the stairs because it's hysterical.
Whoops.
Yeah. No, but he's a bit of a theatrics person, and he loves to show off his stage fall.
He's also
Okay.
a former teacher, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. He's not his father's son. Or he's not his father's son, but he'll be interesting. But Trudeau isn't really liked anyway, his father, Pierre Elliott.
Okay.
That's a big shadow to live under. Where
I'm sorry, what? Oh, never mind, not me.
Yeah.
So his father, Pierre Trudeau, is known as a very big figure in Canadian politics. He's considered to be a very smart, intelligent man. And although an actual reporter once asked if his father, she says, no, he's not, but he kind of makes up for it in emotional intelligence, which...
that got lambasted on John Oliver, but that's actually a thing. It's...
I just have a question, though, Paranor.
Oh, hang on, wait. Before you do that, there was just a question put out there in chat world, which is, what is this? Seeing as I'm just using IS and the number code for the episode number as well as the date right now. This is the Insomnia Shuffle, and we just talk about whatever the hell comes to mind. Most people that come in here are part of the great debate, whatever the hell that is, which is this, usually the arguing between atheists and theists. But this is where we take a fucking break from that and just talk about whatever the hell we want.
Although, just as a spoiler, it's not that great, and it's not much of a debate.
No, it's really not.
It's more of a derp bait.
yeah, no kidding.
It's an argument between two idiot sticks who can't figure crap out.
No. I think there are many people. No. There are many people that are part of the discussion that are quite masterful, which would make it a masturbate.
Anyways, my
Whoa.
Let's hear it for the masturbate.
You got it.
My question.
Cut that fist.
Will Justin Trudeau
Intellectual property, got it.
Paranor, is that our official hit?
Hey, hang on. Let's be nice. Headless is still trying to have a conversation.
Oh, no.
Will Justin Trudeau give us a word to add to our lexicon, like his father did?
What was the word his father introduced into the lexicon?
Fuddle duddle.
What?
God, I haven't heard that in years.
Twiddle duddle?
Fuddle duddle.
Fuddle duddle.
Fuddle duddle.
Is that kind of like fuddy duddy? I mean, fuddy duddy's
No, he was in Parliament and he said something, he kind of mouthed the words, and someone thought he said fuck, and he's like, no, I said fuddle duddle.
No, he probably said fuck.
Saved his ass by making up a word.
That is a Shakespearean quality he has.
Oh, yeah. It's like, God damn it, I just swore in a place I'm not supposed to swear. How can I save my ass now?
The interesting thing about Pierre Elliott Trudeau is that he was a total asshole, but it worked for him. Because he said, I don't care what you guys are bitching about. You're not doing a goddamn thing, so I'll do it. But unfortunately, that did tend to get criticism of totalitarianism. Yeah, whatever. He even told the French to go fuck themselves. And he was very French.
Was it the governor? It was the Governor General. He met the Governor General wearing shorts and sandals.
I think so. Yeah.
For those who don't know, the Governor General is the Queen's representative when the Queen's not in Canada.
Yeah.
If the Governor General they can the government.
For all purposes, the Governor General is head of state kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's more honorary now after Trudeau brought in our Constitution.
But still, they show up wearing shorts and sandals.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it was better than the overalls and backward baseball cap that Justin Bieber did.
Well, if you're going to mention totalitarianism, though, I feel like saying, well, how is this different than what we have in the U.S. with, all these senators and congressmen that I don't think they've even listened to a single voter anytime they've made a vote, but whatever.
I should also add, is he the one who choked out that reporter?
What?
No, that was Chrétien.
Oh, Chrétien was our prime minister who choked
And
out
that
the
was not a
reporter.
reporter. That was some guy who tried to throw pie at him.
Yeah.
Right, not try, he did throw a pie at him, and then he proceeded to choke him. It was very funny.
No. He was just saying hello and shaking his hand just so we can winning an handshake.
I actually met Chrétien.
Yeah.
He was a dick.
Okay.
I could imagine.
No, I was working at the local resort here, and he was passing through on the campaign trail, and I was bussing in that. Of course, he was all, "Hey, how you doing?" Sorry, it more like this, not with the Texan accent though.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, he literally was always talking out one side of his mouth, but that was because of a early medical condition, childhood medical condition.
He had nerve damage on
growing
one
up,
side
my
of his face.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. So,
But
Yeah,
there's
my family-
lots of jokes.
Yeah. But
Growing up,
somebody did take a jab at him for being a politician talking out of the side of his mouth.
Yep.
And it's like, really?
Although my family loved Chrétien, they really hated the conservative Brian Mulroney. In fact, growing up, I thought his first name was fucking because my dad and uncle would always say, "Oh, fucking Mulroney."
Oh, so he's related to Harper.
actually, that's
Fucking
in all the things pertaining to my stroke recovery. That's the one thing that really kind of upsets me is that I can now actually smile. It used to be that I'd try to smile and I would just smirk, so nobody could fucking tell if I was smirking or not. I kind of miss that. I had an excuse to smirk all the fucking time. That was kind of nice, but no. Anyway. Hey, Van.
Hola.
Yes, it is Canadian politics again. Feel free.
Van, it looks like you're on you're dressed up like SEAL Team 6 in a dark alley ready to take somebody out.
Yeah, I know.
On the broadcast, they have no idea what the hell you're talking about because I am required now to have all the cameras disabled on the stream because douchebags.
Really?
Yes.
Yep. So everything on the inside nobody can see.
Well, actually, on the stream side, inside here, you guys can do whatever the hell you want. But on my
Did you
side,
get
I have to
porn
have.
bombed again?
No. This is the only way to make sure I don't get hit again. I'm not taking. I mean, the thing is, I'd already taken precautions to the point of being OCD over the fucking shit, and then I got porn bombed. So now, fuck it, nobody gets any video. Fuck them.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, fuck it.
It's
No
a walk-in
video.
porn bomber.
I mean, if it gets any worse, I won't be able to allow audio either. That'd be fucked up, wouldn't it? Just long silent hangouts with people typing on screen.
Well, I could do sign. I could do sign.
Yeah, they used to call that Google Chat
Yeah.
or Yahoo Chat.
You could
So
put my
I could-
video on. I could do sign language translation.
Well, when I was doing the 22-day hangout, that 22-day broadcast shit, that was kind of the fun thing, is that people would come in random hours of the day and just leave a comment. There were like these extended comments going on in the chat, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of neat. We should have a thing like this. Oh wait, they call that a chat board. Never mind. We have this. It's called IRC.
Are we on? Are we live?
Yeah, we're on now. Can you see my icon? I have an on-air light. This is the
Okay.
official moderator on air. I'm a punk light. Yeah. This way, if that Mike the Monk, whatever the fuck his name is, comes in and says, "Well, I didn't know it was online," I'm like, dude, look at my fucking icon, you tool. Hi, motherfucker. Yeah.
So, Paranor,
Mike.
I just saw
Holiday.
your post of your little screen cap of your conversation with Armored Christian.
Yeah.
Incidentally, Armored Christian has been officially declared a PO.
Yep.
I honestly, I don't think he's a PO. I just think he's
Stupid.
a moron.
Well, he's either a Poe or a total bitch. One or the other.
Well, the thing is, I did a hangout. I held a hangout. I filled the room with Christians and invited him. And he said, "I'm not going. I'd have to be high to go into a room full of atheists. I'd just get mad." I'm like, "Dude, I'm the only atheist in here. Come on in. I told you the water was fine." And he still wouldn't fucking come in. So I'm calling him a Poe. Fuck that.
The most recent interaction I had with him, actually, he posted a Christian Nation thing. Where is it? Here it is. And he's got a friend of his, Smash Boy, who instead of providing a link to a website, he just instead cut and pastes the article on the website.
Oh no.
So it's like 288 lines.
Oh.
Well,
And his response to one of these was, I think he should really respond to the fact, take into account the immense detail you go into and the sources you cite compared to his.
Okay. But yeah, I'm done with that twit. I bothered to entertain him for a little bit from henceforth, so I will just be screaming Poe anytime, because if you're unwilling to come into a room that's all Christians with one atheist under the claim of, well, I'm not going to go into a room full of atheists, well, then go fuck yourself. I went out of my way to be accommodating. He's either a Poe or such a cowardly motherfucker that it's not even worth my time of day.
He's like, what's his name, Max, who was with Red Thing at Arthur, who was the one who, Jamal.
Oh,
Jamal,
yeah,
right.
Jamal.
Yeah. Indicated he may come in, but never did, because
Well, I mean, in
might
this
come
case,
in,
I couldn't have. I don't think I could have been more accommodating. I really don't.
No, you couldn't have. You're nice on there, very
Yeah.
pleasant.
I'm very pleasant, yes.
No, the gloves are off, so okay.
And between him and Jamal, I think some members of this community have come down with serious cases of bitchitis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I met a new fellow last night. His name was Rustin.
Rustin.
Deidre met him too.
Double date?
Rustin's a weird guy. Like, part of me wonders if he's serious or not. I'll be right back.
Is he like either serious or an inch from a crack pipe? Is this the kind of situation?
He's team atheist, but there's something about him that kind of rings a little interesting.
Well,
is he one of the people?
He started quoting Zeitgeist.
I was going to.
All right.
Okay, wait. I was about to ask if he's one of these people that is like, they're team atheist, but we wish that he'd go and join another team, and saying that right there pretty much verified that he's in that category, much like Mark Anthony is.
It's always
Although he
kind of
claimed-
nice when there's some wacky people on your team, because we have enough wacky people on our team.
Okay,
so.
I guess it's fair, but still, I'd rather he be playing on another team, just like Mark Anthony, I wish was on a different team.
Yeah.
Now,
He claims he didn't get it from Zeitgeist, but he used the exact phrasing, and I was like, oh god. I'm willing, and I even said, I'm willing to grant that you didn't get this from Zeitgeist, but you probably got it from the same source that they did, and it's still a crap source and still a crap argument.
hang on. The part of the reason why the joke team atheism works is it's kind of like in grade school when you're sitting there and you're doing kickball or whatever, and it's like, I want Jimmy on my team, I want Johnny on mine, I want Jane, I want Jill. Oh no, we don't want to be stuck with him. That's that's why it
Nobody
works.
wants poor Johnny.
Yeah. Back ages ago when G-Man was sitting there saying, I've decided I'm an atheist and I'm going to start making atheist arguments and all this other crap, and we're like, no, dude, we don't want you on our team. No, shut the fuck up, no. We have no interest in you being on our fucking team. And I ended up making the joke, fine, I tell you what, we'll take G-Man, but the theists have to take Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
Mark Anthony, and part of the reason, incidentally, why I pick on him is not only is he really bad at putting forward any argument, but we had a discussion a while ago when they were doing the, around the time of that whole ban Bossy and teach your children not to rape shit, that we were talking about the tell your children not to rape, and honestly, I was kind of like, this is really dumb. But then in comes Mark Anthony, who tells a story. Oh yeah, this one bitch accused me of raping her once, and then tells a story in which he raped the woman.
Yes.
He fucking raped her. Yeah. Oh well, she got drunk and passed out, so I just fucked her. It's like, dude.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's. Oh, and so by the end of the hangout. So at the end of the hangout. Oh, incidentally, I'll put myself up there. This is the channel host that's speaking right now. 13 Shadows, also known as Shadow Heathen or 13 Heathens. Or right now, I'm the fucking guest admin. Fuck off. But in any case, so by the end of this discussion, I'm like, maybe we need to have a talk with our children as to what constitutes rape, so they fucking know. Because, dude, if he couldn't figure out that if they're passed out and you fuck them, that you raped them, there's something wrong, man.
Well, part of the reason some of that came about is because they were having these, well, like rape clubs in high schools and colleges, although they didn't call them that. It was seduction. But I don't know, we get her drunk and then we do her. What's the big deal? You know? And people were like, well, you don't realize that that's rape? There was this high school in Long Beach that they were keeping score online and giving each other tips. And oh my God, it just...
Wait a minute, wasn't that the Dalhousie dentistry group?
No.
You heard about it?
Yeah.
Heard about it.
Yeah. It was one of those misogynistic groups on Facebook, and that they were dentistry students. I think they were allowed to finish, but they were kind of expelled at some time.
Here we go. Time to start that in the next row.
Hey,
Yeah, well,
Jackie.
we had that happen at a college near here, where a 17-year-old freshman was raped by a 23-year-old athlete of some kind. I don't remember, it's football, basketball, whatever. And this was like her first week or two of school. And they'd had a party, and he took her back to her dorm, and, you know, she thought he was just being nice, but then he had sex with her, and she didn't agree at all. And he and all of his buddies were saying, well, why do you think they went back to her dorm, huh?
Oh.
And so this is what has caused this to happen in colleges and in high school, is so many of these cases that, you know, it's like you and I, we look at this and we go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? And yet these cases keep coming up. So apparently there are some people who don't know what rape is.
And that's a problem, yeah. And clearly this guy's one of them, so he's kind of my punching bag. And this guy, the way that he presents the atheist side of the equation is so fucking poor that when he goes in a G-Man hangout, G-Man will spend all his time talking to Mark Anthony because the guy's that much of a twit. But between that and the rapey thing.
Is this the same case that he taught? I don't remember if these two were two separate incidences. I think the other one was on a Skype call, though, where he talked about some girl falsely accusing him of you know, beating her. You know, she called the cops on him and everything, and he was all upset because of that. And he'd gone and picked her up, and she was a skank, and he knew she was a skank. He said he liked skanks, but then in the morning he literally threw her out of his apartment.
Physically.
By literally, you mean like open the window, chuck her out?
No, like
Yeah, chucked her out the door.
No, physically out the front door, so she was like being thrown towards the stairs, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And
Well,
apparently-
hang on, Wolf. You should be on my regular invite list. Go to Shadow Heathen. I posted the link there for everyone on my standard list. You should be able to find it there, man. Sorry,
But
you did.
anyway-
Chris.
Yeah, but anyway, I think she went back and pounded on the door and yelled, and what are you doing? He opened the door, she hit him. She called the police, and he was, but she hit me.
Yeah.
Fucking threw her out of your apartment because she didn't want to just get up and leave the moment you wanted her to leave after having sex all night.
Yeah.
And being hungover. Yeah, you're not kidding. Nobody wants him on their team.
Yeah, we don't want him on our team, but he's there. You know, we have our assholes. And that's without mentioning Posh McRapeyfoot.
Or
People
the
are
kangaroo.
people, no matter their belief or non-belief.
Go ahead, Jackie.
Question 13. Is it okay if I send the link to Stizor?
Stizor can come in if he agrees to play nice. If he agrees to behave himself, he can come in.
Does he have to speak English?
I have kick power.
Yeah, it's
That's the advantage of this. I have doorbell control as well as kick power. Yay, corporate hangout.
Okay.
Kind of speaking on that same same subject. The guy last night kind of sort of went that same direction. He went to a health food store and bought a aphrodisiac and stuck it in his wife's drink without letting her know about it.
Oh.
Yeah, so we all had a conversation about consent, and then he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm being bullied."
Oh, really?
Well, the more amusing conversation I wanted to bring up and did was, you actually bought an aphrodisiac thinking it would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Wait, do those work? I've never tried one.
Well,
No.
they
No.
spam 90% will poison the person.
Yes.
Okay, let me give you some kind of framework here. They are all as effective as you think they are, meaning they're all fucking placebos.
Right.
Right.
All right.
Well, they do say that, like, watermelon, if you bite towards the rind, is that the word I'm looking for? The rind? They say that is an aphrodisiac for men, which is kind of weird. Or cinnamon would be an aphrodisiac.
There's actually the deal is it's not an aphrodisiac. It makes it easier, but you still got to be interested.
Yeah. So, like, if you have absolutely no interest in sex, you're asexual, which he was describing. I don't think you would suddenly be interested in sex. You know,
it's like Viagra or Cialis. I mean, it makes it easier to salute, but if you got no desire to salute, it's still not going to salute.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier.
Okay, Jade, we're putting that on the list along with Lady Garden.
Hang on one second, though. There is one thing. Well, okay, there are a couple things that are considered aphrodisiacs that kind of work in a way, and one of them is the deep sea slugs that they actually have in certain Japanese food. Now, they do something. They aren't actually an aphrodisiac, but they are a natural non-narcotic upper. It's a natural mood elevator. So it does something.
So kind of like MDMA, but mild.
7 more.
No, not even quite that enough. Well, kind of, yeah, incredibly mild, yeah.
Yeah.
I
know
just
it's not a good comparison, but
no, it's really not, and in part because you just end up feeling. Okay, I shouldn't say this. It's like taking a little testosterone. In that it makes you feel, empowered, literally. It's kind of, and feeling all confident and happy and this and that. It's just, that's what it does.
Yeah.
6 more.
All right, sadly, I have to go back to work, so if y'all are still on later, I'll catch y'all at lunch.
We may be then. We'll find out. I don't know.
Parador, 6 more.
We're starting a little late because Po Boy didn't show up.
Oh, I got 7. Maybe I'll have to refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 more.
Yeah.
I really hope for a liberal majority here.
Well, come on, with 162 over 90.
Even if we're like 1 or 2 short, I mean, we can more than make up for it.
Okay, look, there's 291 seats are claimed out of the 338.
Okay, wait a minute. I've got to poke some fun here. Jackie, dearie.
Yeah?
Honey, I've got to ask you, how many of these hangouts have you come to?
What do you mean?
They always look empty till you join.
Okay.
The corporate hangouts, whenever somebody tries to join, it doesn't show participants till you're inside. I'd expect you to know that by now. I'm just teasing on you for saying, it's empty. Oh, never mind. I'm like, what the hell?
No, there was some sort of glitch going on. It was actually bringing me in, but it was saying, like, it was literally saying it's empty. So I clicked the link again, and it worked.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think it was, like, an actual glitch going on.
Google does glitch with these hangouts. Sometimes you have to click the link twice. That is a thing, yeah.
Yeah, so no, I'm not stupid.
No, it's just one of those things like, Jackie, you've been here so many times. You're one of the few people that knows it. Damn it.
I know that. That's why I was confused when my hangout screen literally said, this hangout is empty.
I have no fucking clue.
No, it didn't say that. It said waiting for.
Waiting for
approval.
Oh no! You should.
It said waiting.
Yeah.
No, it said waiting for others to join call.
That's fucked up. Yeah, it should say waiting for approval, if anything.
No, it wasn't saying that. It was saying something else.
Actually,
let
me send out standard invites for the hell of it here. I probably should do that. Oh wait, no, I can't. I'm under admin right now. Silly me. Admin does not have a list. Never mind. They'll have to find it on the Shadow Heathen or ask me directly through the chat. So.
Okay, it says 0 are to come in, and it's 165.
Two more.
90. Saying 2 more for you?
What?
Okay, I'm on Google. and I'm looking-
Wait. You guys are talking Canadian election again, right?
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
okay.
We need 2 more seats for the
Steve
Liberals.
got heaved. Steve got
We
heaved.
need 2 more seats for the Liberals to get a majority government, meaning
Yep.
come February they don't reject the budget and we have to do this all over again.
Actually, by the CBC website, it says 166 elected Liberals are in the majority, and the PCs are 90.
Yeah. But I was looking at the CBC
Wow.
website earlier. They tend to lag behind what I'm watching somewhere else.
Oh shit, I numbered this wrong.
By only about 2 or 3 seats.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
well,
no,
it says
I-
0
I-
writings to
itself.
come in now.
I was just looking, thinking, oh crap, I numbered it wrong, but that's only inside the Hangout, so who gives a shit? Inside the Hangout, it's the wrong number, and the stream is fine. Never mind. I was like, ah, shit.
One
I had to
more!
fix it.
Awesome.
Because this is Insomnia Shuffle number 210. And just for the sake of, regular viewers and what have you, these, of course, will be initially broadcast once again on Shadow Heathen once I'm able to broadcast again on that channel. However, in the meantime, they will be broadcast here, and this is going to end up turning into the archive channel, and all shuffles from 13 Heathens, Shadow Heathen, as well as this account are all featured on the channel now. And Wolf King, you did get sent your invite. And yes, the guy's definitely a po bitch, because when I made a hangout that was just myself and 5 theists, he wouldn't come in because atheists. So, yeah, fuck you. Bullshit. I'm calling him a po bitch at this
Well,
point.
that's because you have satanic power.
Yes, I did.
And we've got
He's got the horn.
No, actually, no, hang on. Actually, I have to say, on my 13 Heathens channel, I do have a video that's quote by Christian logic, proving that I'm the devil. So, or technically Satan. Not the devil, but Satan. Yeah.
By the way, I want to mention one more thing about Canadian elections. Trudeau, who is predicted to be the next Prime Minister of Canada, one platform is cannabis legalization or decriminalization for the whole, federally, so the whole country.
Okay, so that's why you care. Why does Headless care?
No, and actually, the reason I brought it up, because in another thread I said, I actually want him to remove the gag order on our scientists, even over the cannabis decriminalization.
Cool.
Because that's more important.
Okay. And
Stephen Harper, the
Heathens-
current the ex-PM now, put a gag order on scientists, especially climate scientists. So,
Heathens?
fuck
Yeah.
him.
Heathens,
What's up?
If you really are Satan, after the hangout, I'd like to have a little conversation with you about certain clauses in my contract.
I'm sorry, but all negotiations are final. You should have read that. Well, no. The thing is, what you do is after you take that magnifying glass and go through the fine print, you then have to get out the microscope and give it another once over. I'm
I
sorry.
have a couple of microscopes, so I'll do that.
Well, start looking at that fine print. You'll see.
Heathens, excuse me.
And Jade, in your case, it also wait. And Jade, in your case, you should also pay special attention to the no deposit, no return, and there is definitely no deposit. In your case.
Yeah.
Point of order. Jade,
Yes.
did you meet the devil at the crossroad?
No, actually, it was
Okay,
at
the
7-Eleven.
contract is null and void.
Although, come to think of it, the 7-Eleven was at a crossroad.
Yeah, they always
No,
are.
that's
Yeah.
not the crossroad you're supposed to meet at.
No, it counts. Trust me, it counts. That
Wait.
No.
Hold on a second. Jade,
No, yeah?
you have red hair, right?
No. Well, I have, it's white now, but I had red highlights in my hair, and I was born with red hair.
Oh, so you're a ginger, so there's no soul for the take anyway, so don't worry
Oh,
about it.
no,
Well, I'm like a half
No,
ginger.
stop. Jade, do you have freckles?
I don't have freckles.
Then in that
Walker
case, you have no
does
soul. No, if you don't have freckles, you don't have souls, because the freckles, each one is for a soul that the ginger has stolen.
Ah,
And Jade,
don't worry about your contract. They're not going to get anything anyways.
And
Yeah.
Jade, without freckles, I'm going to have to break up there.
Oh,
it just won't work.
Damn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No freckles. No freckles. I'm sort of pinkish all over.
Pinkish.
Pinkish,
Pinkish.
yeah.
Don't give me ideas.
I am not a white person, god damn it. I wish you would white. I am fucking pink. Would you
So,
get that
wait.
straight?
Wait, Jade,
Okay.
you have red hair.
No, it's dark blonde. Well, it's white now. It's dark blonde with red highlights.
Okay, so you're dark blonde with red highlights, and then you also told me at one point there's an animal that lives in it.
Well, no, I was pointing out that stray animals tend to find their way in my hair. That's what happens. That's what happens when you have long hair.
I was picturing
I
like
can-
you were like hiking in the mountains, and somehow a squirrel got entangled.
Well, I where I live, it's rural and quite wild. So
I would
who
have you
knows?
know that I've never gotten tangled in Jade's hair.
That's true. We've always been very careful. But then Red has always been there to supervise. So
Yeah, there is that.
Yes.
yeah, that's true.
Actually, speaking of which, I figured out how the squirrels have been getting into the attic now that I had the initial roofing worked out, and I'm going to have more done, apparently.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hair goes down to my waist.
Ooh,
Okay.
wow.
It's back on.
Oh my god, how do you grow
And
your hair that long?
It just does. I don't do anything to it.
Oh,
it just does.
it's simple,
And it's-
Jackie. It's called not
it's-
cutting it.
It's white.
I get this itch to cut my hair, like when it gets to a certain point and I need to knock it off.
Well, my hair is white on top. It's white
170.
on top, but it's still the dark blonde underneath to some extent. And it used to be when my hair would sun bleach, I would turn strawberry blonde because I was born with red hair, so there's red in it.
Yeah.
It's just not always obvious. But no, I will never cut my hair. That's one thing I will never do because, I like
You're
the
not
right
right.
people touching my hair. Let's put it that way.
Mm.
Get to the point.
Oh yeah, it's back
Got it,
on.
Paranor? Yeah, it's back on.
It's back on. Oh hell yeah.
I don't like strangers. I don't like strangers touching my hair. I don't mind friends touching my hair, and I really like intimate friends touching my hair.
Well,
So what you're
actually,
saying is the way to your heart is to comb your hair. Got it.
Yeah, with your fingers.
Have you never had a scalp massage?
there was this woman
Oh
that I
no, that feels really good. Absolutely. I have girlfriends that'll play with, like they play with my hair. They'll play with, they'll play with my hair, and it's nothing sexual or anything. It's just
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be. Like I have friends that play with my hair. Yeah, I have women friends that play with my hair, and there's nothing sexual about it whatsoever.
actually
It's
a
just-
number of years ago there was this lovely young woman that I met that had this wonderful long hair that was all the way down to the back of her calves. And I went to a party at one point that she was at, and I walked up behind her, and she, after about 5 minutes of me playing with her hair, turns around and she's like, "Oh, it's you, okay." And I'm like, "Yeah,
Okay.
hair."
Oh, speaking of which,
That
I
was
have to
ready.
bring this in here because it's relevant. How many here are familiar with Alexander Pope's famous poem, "The Rape of the Lock"?
I have
Probably
not read, but I've heard.
Given how bad our education system is,
Actually, I've got to wait. I've got to chirp in for one moment. I am very familiar with it because you've told me about it 87 times.
I know. Well, there's a reason I usually bring it up, but I'm actually bringing it up for a different reason now. And unfortunately, given our education system, everybody in this room should know about this poem, but you don't. It was a poem in the 1700s, and it was part of the English Catholic community where they were being really, really oppressed. And apparently there was this young man who was enamored of the gorgeous, beautiful hair of a young woman. He snuck a lock of hair. And because this was considered like a personal violation, I mean, hair is, to a lot of people, like to me, it's you don't touch someone's hair. And so this caused a big rift in the English Catholic community, which was very small and very oppressed. And Alexander Pope found out about it from a friend, and he was a writer. See, he wrote this epic comic poem. He created a entirely new form of literature called The Rape of the Lock. And it's when I first read it in high school, it didn't really speak to me. It was like really, really over the top. But when I got older, I appreciated it because it's hysterical. There's this young woman at the boudoir, and she's fixing her hair, and there are all these little fairies coming around and helping straighten out all the little bits of the hair and things like that.
So it was
but-
in. So wait, was it Italy? Oh wait, no, that's the birds that do your hair there. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, no, these were all these little fairies and things like that helping her with her hair. There's some fantastic illustrations from the Rape of the Lock, and I think Beardsley did some too. I'm not sure. But the reason I always bring it up in other contexts is when people start talking about language and, you know, Darwin and race, because the term rape used to mean theft. You know, Rape of the Lock mean he stole her lock of hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but anyway, that's just a really interesting, just a little tidbit to that poem.
Wait a
I didn't
second,
appreciate it when I was
okay.
younger.
So that the painting that's called "The Rape of the Sabine Women."
Right, they weren't raped; they were kidnapped.
Yeah.
They were stolen. Yes, the rape of
What
the
about
Sabine.
those Romans?
Oh, speaking of which,
Love
how
the
many
Roman.
people here are familiar with Seven Brides for Seven Brothers?
I love that you got that reference. This is
What,
why I
Ro-
like you.
I love you too, dear. Strictly platonically. But anyway, yeah, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is a musical based on the Rape of the Sabines, which is just hysterical that someone would make a musical about that.
Bless your beautiful hide wherever
I
you
love
may
it.
be. I'm like, what the heck am I watching?
I know. I love to watch it because it's so hysterical.
Well, the movie
it-
version is worse than the stage play. Just saying.
Oh yes, it is. But it does have some excellent performances in it.
Oh yes. Oh definitely.
Oh yeah, and the Seven Brothers. What is it? Abraham, Benjamin, Caleb, Daniel, Ephraim, frankincense, because that was the only F the mother could find.
Frankincense, holy shit! What the fuck?
And what's the,
Again! Say frankincense again and I'll beat you up.
I know, yes. You always wanted to be called Frank. And what was the other brother? The G. Was it Gideon or Gabriel?
Gideon.
It was Gideon. I thought it was Gideon. Yeah. So these boys grew up in a really, really isolated place, and the only two books that they had in their house were the Bible and the it's actually not called The Rape of the Sabines, but the book that had that in it. And they grew up with that book. So, and their mother died when they were young, so their idea of courting came from this book. So they decided to go to a nearby town and take the women that they wanted to marry.
I know, nowadays,
and-
by today's standard, this is super twisted, but
I
yeah.
know. So they do that, and of course the women are like, "What the fuck?" And they immediately take over, and the guys are like, "But we just thought that's the way you know." And then what happens is there's this big avalanche happens.
just want
I
to
think
say
it's
you're
avalanche,
pretty.
isn't it? Avalanche happens
Yep,
to
yep.
cut them off from the town.
Yep, the
So-
pathway is completely like
Right.
gone for the whole winter.
Right. So the women and the men are stuck together. But the women, as I said, take over. They're like in charge, and they're like, "You guys are fucking idiots.
Yep, because
What the hell were you
they
thinking?"
start freezing them out, right? They
I
start
know.
stunning them and shit, and they're like, oh my gosh, these women aren't down with this. What's going on? Like,
I know.
the guys are just that clueless. They're like, yeah, we'll take these women like Romans, and they're like, wait, they don't like it. They don't like me. What the crap?
I know. It is so. Of course, like most musicals, they end up all falling in love. But it's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical. If you haven't seen Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, watch it. And yeah, you're right. The movie version isn't as good. But one of the brothers is the famous choreographer.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out really quick, the movie version isn't as good, but it does have Jane Powell, which I like her, and it also has a fantastic dance number where they're dancing on the plywood and they're fighting
Right.
with each other at the same time, and I
Oh,
always
it's
thought that was
beautifully choreographed. Beautifully choreographed.
good color if you like color and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But who is
Technicolor. You can definitely tell.
who was the famous photographer? They made a movie out of his life, a musical out of his life, and he played
Cinematographer?
the what?
The cinematographer?
No,
Or
the choreographer. He's a choreographer. He played one of the brothers, and
Oh, I
he
don't
also
know.
played one of my favorite dance routines. Is he played the serpent in The Little Prince?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
And if somebody could look it up, he's a famous. I'm just trying to think. He's a famous photographer. He's a famous choreographer. As I said, they made an entire movie about him.
Hey, somebody
is
mentioned my
absolutely
favorite book. I'm good.
Yeah, but anyway,
Was it Jacques d'Ambrose?
no.
Was it,
Look up The Little Prince and who danced the
Oh yes, Little Prince.
Little Prince. Oh damn! I know it. It's one of those things that's just. And you can see his. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie too, because. Oh, isn't it awful when your mind makes all these connections? The guy who starred in the movie also was in Jaws.
Oh, crud. Okay. Man.
Oh, and by the way, the movie they made about his life is absolutely fantastic, especially the very, very sexy scene of the dance scene where they are airline. Oh crap, I forget. You know, the stewards and stewardesses.
Yeah, I'm lost. Musicals aren't
all
my
that
thing.
jazz. All that jazz.
Oh, wow.
That's
Roy Scheider? Roy Scheider?
Yes, Roy Scheiber played the role.
It's showtime.
Right, that's Roy Scheiber played the role.
Kind of
and he was in
autobiographical on Bob Fosse. Yeah.
Yes, it's Bob Fosse. There we go. See, I knew I'd get it eventually. So All That Jazz is the movie made about Bob Fosse's life, starring Roy Scheiber, who also starred in Jaws. No, Bob Fosse was one of the brothers. I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking.
I don't know. I'm not really into the whole musical thing. There's only one musical that I'd actually advocate at this point, which is actually the Avenue Q thing, because that's funny as shit.
Oh yeah,
It's the one that the Internet's for Porn is out of, as well as the song Everyone's a Little Bit Racist, which both hilarious songs.
But if you've never seen the Bob Fosse turn as the serpent in The Little Prince, you should see it. He's just, I mean, he is fantastic as a serpent.
It's not showing Bob Fosse as one of the brothers.
Oh, I thought he was. Oh well, maybe
unless he's using a pseudonym in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But I was pretty sure it was Bob Fosse. I may be wrong. It's been a while.
Actually, just
yeah,
one other.
I definitely like musicals. What can I say? They're not like my favorite at all, but I do love them.
Well,
actually,
I do have to admit there's one other musical that I recently decided I'm glad that it was made, which is Moulin Rouge. Now, I don't like Moulin Rouge. I really, really enjoyed the musical review they did on it on That Guy with Glasses site, because that was fucking hilarious.
Oh. You know, I think West Side Story stands out as a
And there we go then there we go. Somebody inadvertently out there in chat world pointing out another one that I actually like, which is Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very different from the stage version.
Yeah.
I love West Side Story. It is an absolutely brilliant.
No, is that the right one?
Yeah.
You know what happens whenever we turn this into a musical hangout, right? You can't actually sing in sync with anyone on Google, so it ends up being this chaotic mess.
Right.
It's spinning around.
Jade, you'll know which one's this from. Try to remember the kind of September. What show? When you were young and green.
Stop it! It doesn't sing!
The Fantastics, girl, yes.
Yeah, the Fantastics.
It doesn't sing on. Wait. Okay, Jade, thank you. Okay. Once again, when you try to sing with somebody in a Google Hangout, it does not sync up and it sounds like crap. Please don't do that again.
If I loved you, words wouldn't come as an easy thing.
It's like doing rounds of row your boat with the way it comes out in the stream. It's horrible.
Freaking
Row Your
Carousel,
Boat
man.
is the only song you can sing in the Google Hangout.
I elect Carousel as one of the most irritating musicals on earth, but beautiful music. Beautiful music, but the story makes me angry.
Well, there are parts of it, though, that are really kind of sweet. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Here's a musical everybody loves. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, diddly dee. South Pacific.
Not so much.
The man right out of my hand.
I honestly didn't like it.
The movie is not very good.
No.
You've got to see it on stage.
I'd rather watch Hairspray.
Hairspray is excellent.
As for music, you need to listen to the Mary Martin version.
The movie Harvey. What was Harvey? I'm not unfamiliar.
Harvey was the giant invisible 7-foot rabbit, and the ending. Oh, I've got a beautiful story
Oh,
about
I
Harvey.
love Harvey.
My friend
I'm not a Harvey
who's my friend who's the retired professor of classics. He played the lead role in Harvey, and he had done the run. He was in his office just marking papers, and the last line, and somebody said, "Oh, there you are," from down the hall, because his door was open, and he heard it, and they said, "Oh, there you are, I've been looking for you everywhere." He immediately bolted upright and expected to see a rabbit hop by at any time, because that was the last line of the show.
Yes.
It just, what? Oh.
Oh, that's true. Now, another one, just before we drive Heathens crazy, a personal favorite of mine is, well, actually there's a couple I wanted to bring up. One is a little odd, but is Man of La Mancha.
Okay, fun story, I have to admit. But at the same point, one thing I want to point out is that I never really liked Phantom. But
Neither do
I need to make exception, though.
Phantom's kind of creepy.
I need to make one exception, though, because there was this woman I knew that would play the soundtrack for one of the very different editions of it, which was the Phantom's part was played by Robert Guillaume, and oh my god,
yes.
his voice was incredible.
Oh, with him playing the Phantom, I heard a sample of him on stage, and my balls shook.
Oh, his performance was incredible, I have to admit.
The song "All I Ask of You" I think is golden, but I do think Phantom's a little overrated, and I think that the story's creeptastic.
Yeah,
I love Les Mis.
I would tend to agree with that general thing, but yeah, Robert Guillaume's singing of that was incredible, though. That I gotta give props on.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Do you think The Wall counts as a musical, technically speaking?
Not really. It's a musical movie.
Well, yeah, I know, but yeah, anyway. I don't know, somebody just referenced it. I'm like, I don't think that counts.
No, not traditionally. It wouldn't be classified as.
I think I'm really, really hit and miss with Rodgers and Hammerstein, because I really didn't like Oklahoma. I didn't like South Pacific.
Oh, man, the wind
I
comes sweet
think-
on the plane.
Oh,
Carousel sounds beautiful. I think the music to Carousel's beautiful, but the story's aggravating.
Actually, let me switch
Well,
my
I
cam
love
in here
South
if I can.
Pacific. Do you know the story behind that?
I do not.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, first of all, it was actually taken from a book called South Pacific, which was written by a very famous writer whose name I can't think of at the moment, about his time in the South Pacific as a soldier. But they took this one part and they turned it into a musical. The thing is, one of the things I love about South Pacific is the way it tackled race. And at the time this play was made, that was incredibly controversial. And there were people who boycotted it, people who wanted Hammerstein to take that one song out. You've got to be taught. You've got to be taught to hate and fear. You've got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully
about
taught.
that. Yeah.
The entire movie is about racism. The entire musical is about racism. That's the part that people miss. And what happened was Rodgers and Hammerstein put that in a musical format. They put it on Broadway, and they just got it right past all these people who, all the racists.
Les Mis.
No, South Pacific.
South Pacific. It wasn't as overt as West Side Story. It was hiding.
Well, but also you've got to look at when South Pacific was
Jade,
made.
hang on one second. Just as a footnote for the folks that are actually inside the Hangout, I just actually switched over to my regular XSplit view. So you guys, if you want to, you can see what's going on in the comments thread. Just click on me if you want to take a glance. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. Jade.
I have two monitors, so I can always see. I actually flip it on just because I'm like that.
Yeah, I just remembered to pop it in there for the sake of anyone that wants to be able to take a look at it.
Yeah, see, you've got to remember the South Pacific premiered in 1949.
Yep.
And
the film
it-
was 58.
Yeah, and the film's not great at all.
No.
Mary Martin was considered for the lead, but she wasn't pretty enough. But yeah, you have to remember that what South Pacific is really about is racism. and that Rodgers and Hammerstein just basically slipped it right past the public. Although a lot of people did catch on and they were outraged and they wanted that song removed. But it was Rodgers and Hammerstein and it was a hit on Broadway. So that's the part I remember. Also Showboat. I've seen the theatrical performance of Showboat, and how many people here are familiar with Showboat?
I'm familiar with it.
Well,
It has
Showboat is also
Old Man River.
yes, and Showboat is brilliantly. Showboat is also partially about racism, and it's brilliantly constructed. There is a reason that it starts with Old Man River.
Yeah.
It's
Old Man
you know,
River is a
some
good
people-
song, I got to admit.
right. Some people just look at
baritone.
musicals as being frivolous and not
Nope.
realizing that certain, there are certain subtexts and there were certain things that people brought to the public attention that weren't talked about back then.
Absolutely.
And again,
Yeah.
Showboat and South Pacific were two of those that, as I said,
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
And,
South
and
Pacific.
those were
Well, take the
earlier
fan-
than West Side. Yeah. So
Yes,
like
yes, much earlier, much
Mm.
earlier.
And we'll take the Fantastics, for example. I mean, that actually is kind of about arranged marriages, but rape, and as well as growing, because the guy who sings "Try to Remember" is the
Right.
rape year, but it's
Yeah.
from the
Ash.
traditional. They actually
Actor.
explain and take it back to the original meaning right at the start. But it's all about trying to force your children to what you want them to be.
Right.
But it
well,
requires a rapier to
right.
screw them both up.
But there are all sorts of little subtle things like this in various musicals. And just like in Oklahoma that you talked about, that's not one of your favorites. It's not
It's
one of my
not.
favorites either, except for the one character and the one song.
Incidentally, as a
Jed?
quick footnote to Mr. Grimm out there,
Jed.
yeah, I'm not in my element here either, but shuffles do what shuffles do.
Right. And that
this
that
too
one-
will
meaning
pass.
Judd?
If you hate musicals, this too will pass. Hang on.
yes, there's
Jade,
one,
if I
the
can-
ones,
Jade,
the
if
one.
Browser's slow.
What? Can I finish? I
Go ahead,
started.
go ahead.
and I
Thanks,
finished.
Prudence. I'll
The
let you-
one,
Jade, if
the one
well,
subject. Wait, I started. Can I finish?
I just want
and
to
then
say
you-
something to Grim. Grim,
Okay. Well,
shuffles will always just shuffle on and eventually shuffle to where they get to.
right. Okay.
Go,
the-
Jay.
Okay. The point I wanted to make is Adu Annie.
Come on, load.
And
Here.
I'm just a girl who can't say no.
Ah, now there's a good
Now-
contribution to society.
Right, and you have to realize that for her to sing that song in that lighthearted musical
Mhm.
as the girl who everybody looked at as being promiscuous was kind of radical. I loved Adu Annie. I'm just a girl who can't say no.
Mm.
I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, let's go, just when I ought to say nix. You look at the words to that song, and
for
look
the
at
time,
the time that this was made. And everybody loved Adu Annie, but she
Mhm.
was this character. She was the loose
Honest
girl.
whore.
Right. Yes, there we go. Good description.
The honest whore.
And that's the part I love about that musical. So yeah, as I said, musicals aren't just frivolous. I've participated in musicals myself, both on stage, behind the scenes, and as an usher and things like
well,
that. Yeah.
hang on. I think there are some really important points that can be learned from musicals.
Mhm.
For example, through Little Shop of Horrors, I learned if you find an alien plant, don't fucking feed it.
Right. And if you are a masochist, you find the right dentist.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But
And
yeah,
the French Revolution was a real bitch.
but many musicals are very, very subversive. And some
Yeah.
of them are not. Some of them are just very lighthearted. But you also have to remember about Carousel. The other point about that is she was not married to him.
Mhm.
Scandal.
Yet she's the hero. And
Yeah.
that, again, is very radical for that time.
It's just an aggravating movie because, like, she's such a victim in a lot of ways,
Well,
Like,
yeah,
it's
but you
just,
also have to consider the times it was made. Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I agree. But you also have to consider the time it was made, and when you look at those sorts of things, when you look at the parts that you don't like, you also have to look at the parts that the subversive parts, because so many, especially
Yeah.
if you're talking about Rodgers and Hart, Rodgers and Hammerstein,
Yeah.
so many of them are subversive.
What I love about old movies is not just musicals, but like there's subtle things in there that just always struck me as funny. And so when people act like there's something new in the times today,
Yeah.
I look back and at the books I've read that are classic or even just like 50, 20 years ago. No, these are age-old things. Nothing's new. Nothing's
No.
new.
And even the one last song I'd like to bring up, which is again very subversive, but not if you take it out of if you take it out of context, it doesn't seem so. In context, it is, and that is from Flower Drum's song, "And I Enjoy Being a Girl." There is a fantastic. You can find the video of it on YouTube, and it's a beautiful, beautiful video. She's I've got a brand new hairdo. My hair is up in curls, and so on and so forth. I enjoy being a girl. The thing is that if you just take that out of context, oh, it's just frivolous. She enjoys being a girl. This is the exotic dancer who's trying to get married and be normal, but she can't because she can't afford to. You have to look at the character, and you have to look at the situation, and why is this character singing this song? If you take it out of context, it seems a frivolous bit of fluff. But when you put it in context, it's completely different. Yeah. Oh, and what you said about books, have you ever read Fanny Hill?
I have not.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, talk about.
Steve is Eve, Jay.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, speaking of nothing new, yeah, read Fanny Hill.
I'll have to, but yeah, I think it's all fascinating. I just I was homeschooled and I lived in sort of I don't know. I've had a really weird experience growing up where I've had experiences that other people haven't apparently, and then at the same time I haven't had experiences that other people had when I was a kid. So like I never had a graduation or any of these things that other people have that I haven't had. My point is though that I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of modern movies when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. And so I had to watch old movies. And so, like, what is interesting, though, is that I've grown up with a love of old movies, and so it's made me a weirdo in the sense that now I had to go back and watch E.T. for the first time as an adult, which is stupid.
Shit, yeah.
Which is just stupid, unfortunately. But I'm glad that I love old stuff. Like, I actually appreciate that.
13.
They're kind of a cult. Yeah, they're considered a cult. What? Yeah. Yeah, well, I wasn't completely not allowed to watch everything. It's just I didn't grow up being allowed to watch the Smurfs because the Smurfs were evil.
Oh.
I didn't grow up watching E.T. because E.T. was New Age, supposedly.
How in the fuck are
So the first time I saw Star Wars,
how in the fuck are
the first time I saw Star Wars, I was in middle school. If that gives you an idea. So, but I mean, I still love movies. I like modern movies and old movies. But the benefit of not being allowed to even I wasn't really allowed to listen to Michael Jackson. People like that. So like I ended up listening to the Beatles and stuff, like really early stuff. My mom was a fan of Shelley Fabares and like
yes.
yeah, like really, you know the milk.
My goodness.
You know the most milk toast of the '60s. My mom likes. So look at me, I'm Sandra Dee. It really is my mom.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I remember Sandra Dee, all those old movies because
But
my
Tammy's
cousins,
Sandra Dee, not Summer Police Sandra Dee.
yeah, I hear the cottonwoods whispering above. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy. I can sing the whole song.
Hang on 1 second. I just got a
Audio
report
issues.
from Faithless that somebody can't be heard on the stream. I'm going to ask for a Mickey Mouse roll call here.
Okay.
Wolf, starting with you. Wolf.
Say
Wolf,
something.
Wolf has his mic
What's up?
off. Okay, Wolf, go ahead one more time, sorry.
What is up?
Okay, there we go. Holy.
What's up?
Did you hear that?
Okay, next, Headless.
What?
What? That helps.
What?
Okay, Prudent. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's muted. Okay, there we go. Para.
Profound.
Okay. Jackie and Kevin.
It's just me.
Okay, Jackie then, okay. And Jade.
I'm here.
Okay, if anyone did not answer after I said their name, let me know who the hell it
forgot
was, if you
Max.
would. Oh, Max. No, Max doesn't count. Max.
Wait, what? Why don't I count?
No, I was just messing with you.
you.
Just messing with you.
Ooh. I
So
just gotta-
everybody come in clear?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to wait on feedback. It's going to take about 20 seconds, probably.
He says that YouTube broadcast is feminist. The girls are coming out.
Oh, and I want to mention one last musical for sheer joy. Not because it has any great message, just because it's glorious to watch the movie version.
Is it
And-
Buddhism come?
It is The Unsinkable Molly Brown.
Yes.
Yes.
Debbie Reynolds as Molly Brown. Just sheer joy. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. She's like
Although
singing.
Molly Brown, although the real Molly Brown really did look a lot like Kathy Bates.
Ooh.
I mean, there's really obscure musicals too, like the Harvey Girls we can get into, but I'll spare you
Oh
guys.
my God, I love that!
I knew you'd
posted-
know that. I knew it.
Because did you see me post that happy birthday to Angela Lansbury on Facebook with
No, I
pictures
didn't.
from the Harvey Girls?
I didn't. That's cool though. I like that.
Oh my God, the costume she had. Angela Lansbury was like about 19 then. She's glorious, gorgeous. I love the Harvey Girls. Judy Garland, when they did that, the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe, they did that in one take. I love the Harvey Girls, and there's several scenes in there where it's hysterical because Judy Garland goes to confront the character of Angela Lansbury, who's like the what would you call her? She runs the saloon across the street, and she's totally dressed to the hilt. And Judy Garland was like 5'1" or 2 or
Tiny.
something like that.
She was a tiny
And
lady.
Angela Lansbury was tall, and she just towers over Judy Garland. If you want to see some great pictures, Deidre, go look at my feed and see if you can see those pictures, or just
Oh, yeah.
Google Angela Lansbury Harvey Girls.
That's funny.
The costumes were incredible, and it's just she's this little tiny Judy Garland is going, you and Angela Lansbury just standing there in total.
I'm going to cut in for one moment here. Just as a quick reminder, this is the Insomnia Shuffle. This is Shuffle number 210, actually. All the older content has been put up on this channel in its archive form and is now fully available for everyone. No more of this, asking people who has it on their, private playlist shit anymore. This is going to be the official archive channel from now on Shadow Heathens channel. Once I'm able to broadcast on there, all shuffles will be broadcast there, and this will just simply be an archival channel from that point onward. And as two actual other notes, for some fucking reason Patreon's down right now, so I can't actually pimp that shit, and hopefully they'll get their shit fixed before the end of the month so I can. And on a final note, right now we are at, 8 people in the Hangout. This Hangout can support up to 15. For those that are on the normal invite list, you will be able to find the link through the Shadow Heathen Google Plus page, and others that may want to join, just leave me a message out there. If I know who the hell you're in, who you are, I'll let you in. Anyway.
Okay, but yeah, you're right. There's things like "Kiss Me, Kate," or a
Yeah.
favorite of mine, "Stop the World, I Want to Get Off."
Kiss Me Kate is the Taming of the Shrew, right? That one?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that one years ago. It's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah, I saw "Stop the World, I Want to Go Get Off" in a theater in the park free one when I was in a junior year in high school. And the guy who did the people who did it really, really good. It's a good musical. There's one really great song from it, and the rest are kind of eh. But yeah, there's a ton of musicals. There's a lot of really, really obscure ones. My neighbors, years and years ago, he was selling off all his old LPs, and I'm sorry I didn't buy them just for the whole archive thing, because he had collected every obscure musical that could possibly have existed. He was gay, of course.
Of course.
I love how you always point that out. I'm like, I know. I thought I knew like who was gay in Hollywood, and Jay's like, this person was gay too, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Like,
Oh,
it's
well,
like educational. I mean, you always know the Rock Hudson stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, I hung out
Well,
in LA.
You never heard of Rock Hudson?
Hang on. I've got to point out. You see on Google Plus, Jade is the official Gayapedia.
Yeah, yes.
You are the Gayapedia, aren't you?
Yeah, and my favorite one, of course, is that I don't know if you know who Alan Azimova was.
Gesundheit.
Alan Azimova was a very, 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 very famous silent movie actress. And you might hear certain references to the Garden of Allah, which was her estate, but even after she lost the estate, she had all these little bungalows that she had friends stay in. And they later became rental apartments, and it's like everybody in Hollywood at some time or another stayed in the Garden of Allah. And it's referenced in movies and books and whatever. Well, anyway, Alan Azimova was this incredibly famous silent movie actress. You can look her up, A-L-L-A, Nazimova, figure it out. She was also a lesbian, and she was Nancy Reagan's godmother.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Interesting resume.
Nancy Reagan's mother had been an actress and knew all these lesbians.
Have you ever seen... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of the major figures in the creation of Hollywood and filming was Dorothy Asner, who was also a lesbian. But,
Really?
yeah, she was cut out. There is a book about the silent movie era in Hollywood before the Hays Code, which was supposedly to clean up Hollywood. Silent movies and early sound movies were very women-oriented. There were a lot of women making movies, and like Dorothy Asner.
Yeah,
And,
I've seen some of them where they're actually pretty risque. I remember seeing an old Lucille Ball movie where she had like a blonde wig and she was completely naked, but this blonde wig. I mean, that was really out there for back then.
Well, what happened was...
What was her name? Famous movie actress, blonde. She did a couple...
Marilyn Monroe, never mind.
No, it was...
This is silent
it was
movie.
Barbara
Eminem.
Stanwyck was gay. You know that,
No,
right? Barbara
you say
Stanwyck was
blonde
gay.
actress, I gotta say Marilyn.
Barbara Stanwyck at shows. You can kind of
Yeah,
tell.
Barbara
You can pick it
Stanwyck
up.
was gay. Marlene Dietrich was gay, or bi, but mostly gay, more gay than bi. She had affairs with women throughout her entire life, and there are pictures of her, some of them half naked with her
Monty
lovers.
Woolley was gay.
But before the Hays Code was supposedly to, quote, clean up Hollywood. What they really objected to, and there's a fantastic play about this, I can't think of the name of it right now, that talks about the early Hollywood and the women involved in Hollywood, because women made movies about women's concerns. So women made movies about wives being beaten, about wives being abandoned by their husbands, about alcoholism, about drug abuse, about abortion, about unwanted pregnancy, about being the slut, about being a bastard. These are the kinds of movies.
Hang on. I suppose you mean about literally being a bastard in terms of the proper usage of the term, as opposed to.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I remember
I'm a
watching.
bastard.
I'm a bastard. I'm a bastard.
I probably am. I'm adopted, so I'm assuming I'm a bastard.
I'm adopted. I'm adopted too. High five. I'm an adopted.
Hang on. Wait. Myself and Holly and Jade and Para and wow, we have a half house of adopted folks. Damn.
Yeah, we do. Think about that.
Nice.
us adopted people. So we're probably all bastards because we're adopted. I don't know
Yes.
for sure, but I'm guessing.
I always figured I was the product of
we're
the
the
backseat of a
best.
Chevy. Yeah.
With the Jon
Yes.
Snows.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? We should take our own names. So.
We're the whatever her face stands.
Yeah, well, I'm
I
from
wish
Southern
I was a
California,
bastard.
so
I wish
I
I,
don't know
was
what-
bad. I'm only an accident.
But anyway, so women made all these movies about unwanted pregnancies and things like that. And the thing is, the uptight folks, you know, including the Catholic Church, didn't like these things being shown in movie theaters. They thought
Yep.
these were things that you shouldn't show. So the Hays Code,
like a married couple in bed together. You used to be able
Right.
to show a married couple in bed together, not doing anything, just in bed.
right,
They made it so that they had to have separate beds. It's insane.
right. So the Hays Code, but the Hays Code destroyed women's movie making in Hollywood, which was huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Completely destroyed it. Dorothy Asner could not get work, and she created a lot of the three camera system, I think, and I don't remember what all, but she created a lot of things like that. And she's very obviously gay. She's pretty butch, but she had lots of different lovers. There were lots of people in Hollywood who were gay, and everybody knew it. Nobody cared. Doris Day. I think I mentioned this to you once. That those old movies with Rock Hudson, Doris Day, and Tony Randall. They
Now,
made
how
all these
funny
movies
is that?
together.
Yeah.
Tony Randall was straight.
Yeah, how funny is that? Isn't that funny? I don't know.
That's hysterical. He's the one that seems gay, and he was the only one that was straight.
I was just about to say something like that. Yeah.
I know it's hysterical. But yeah, as I said, the
Has
Hays
Doris
Code.
Day ever come out as gay herself, or
No,
is
she's
it
still
other
alive,
people
too.
outed her?
No, people have outed her. She was very well known. As I said, I used to hang out in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And in the Valley, and there was a place called Joni's Presents that was run by a woman named Joni, who'd been a drummer in a women's band that toured during World War II when most of the men were off at at fighting the war. And a lot of these people used to come in there, famous actresses because it was a lesbian bar. And you would hear all these stories about the time that so-and-so got drunk and trashed the place. So
Yeah.
the fact that there were a lot of...
Doris Day had such a milk and cookies reputation
Oh,
amongst
yeah.
certain people, and Catholics. I happen to know a lot of older Catholic families
Yes.
that just adored her.
Right,
Jay.
right.
Can I kind of go off on a little bit
Sure,
of a
go ahead.
tangent?
I'm...
I've got a question.
Please, somebody tangent.
No,
Foreshadow.
okay. Let's focus on the view of social culture. Okay.
Mhm.
In the days that all this went on before the cleaning,
Right.
You mentioned that it was kind of encouraged or not. It came out of the war and the lack of men. So when the men came back over, all this stuff started coming in as a reassertion of men's position. Could you almost say?
That might be true. I don't know, but I think what happened after the war is people wanted to settle down to a perfect society.
Mm,
This is where the fantasy 50s came up.
right.
Because you hear all these stories about how great everything was supposed to be in the 50s. I lived through the 50s. I can tell you the truth.
The good old days that were kind of shit, right?
It
Mm.
reminds me of the book The Hours, and the one character from the 50s. Like, there's all this pressure to be perfect, right?
Yes,
Isn't that
yes, there
interesting?
was. There was. Women had to dress perfectly. They had to. The women's magazines were filled with how to please your husband, how to have the best place setting for dinner. There was an obsession with everything being just so. It's no wonder when you watch the
The
Stepford
nuclear
Wives.
family.
I assume, hopefully, you've seen the original Stepford Wives, not the second one, the first
Yes, yes. I haven't
Watch
seen the
this.
second at all.
one. Don't bother. It has some moments that are fun. If
Hmm.
it's ever free and you're bored, there are some moments that are fun, especially if you can fast forward. But if you watch the Stepford Wives, that is a take on what the 50s were. That is,
Hmm.
the perfect wife during the 1950s.
Yeah.
And all of the ads, if you look at
Mrs.
the
Beaver.
1950 ads, yes, you'd see the women who were dressed perfectly in their dresses, and no one got a divorce. No one had illegitimate children.
Always make sure that after you've done all your household duties and cleaned and made your house perfect in perfect order, to make sure to freshen up before your husband comes home, because you want to be the best, because he works so hard.
And
You know-
don't forget to gargle.
Right.
But
Right,
part of
yeah,
it is
yeah.
part of that is the guilt, right? The guilt
Yes.
from people coming home from war.
Well,
Right?
actually, hang on. I just want to point out for the sake of the audience, if you haven't looked up any of the PSAs from the 50s, do it.
Yeah, they're fascinating.
Oh my God.
But there's so
And
much
look up-
guilt from the loss of men in the war
Right.
and what they've been through. That the 50s was like this.
Right.
Let's pay them back, these poor guys.
Oh,
you know?
let's worship them. Let's
Yeah.
worship them.
Yeah, fucked
Yeah,
up
but
shit.
also watch some old 50s commercials, especially the one for things, the household items that women were in. Oh, my new range! And she practically has an orgasm. It's the most wonderful thing.
Yeah, the
I
husband
never
wishes he
had.
could get that response.
Right, and this, by the way, is where the whole, no kidding. This, by the way, is kind of where the whole Betty White story comes from. I don't know if you know this story.
Well,
But-
I just have to say, before you say it, when she did Lake Placid
Mhm.
and came out after the cops were starting to
Right.
leave, she comes out with the line, Betty White comes out with the line, this is where if I had a dick, I'd tell you to suck it. It's like,
Yeah, I
excuse
know,
me?
I love
What?
Betty White.
What?
But
That
the thing
just
is,
so. Okay.
the thing is, Betty White in the
Incidentally, I'd like to
1950s
point out the conversation about things like media and what have you has gone on long enough that Jackie and Kevin got bored with us. Oh.
Okay. Well, but Betty White during the 1950s did a lot of these commercials. So Betty White was looked at as the perfect housewife because she did all these commercials. But of course, the reality was far different. So then, when they did the Mary Tyler Moore show, somebody said, when they were talking about this one character, they said, "You know what? We want someone like Betty White, except she's evil." And then someone said, "I wonder if we could get Betty White." And they're like, "Oh, she wouldn't do this." So somebody actually called Betty White and
bullshit.
she jumped at the chance.
I
Because
finally
the
get to be
real
somebody
Betty
evil?
White-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She was more than happy to play a character that was a mockery of what everybody thought of her as, because she did all these, and she's a fantastic woman.
Brilliant.
Okay, hang on. So there's this Drunk Bears card that references you, Jade. You know the one, right?
Yeah, I know the one.
Okay. Anyway, so how's everybody else doing?
So hold on. I took your
That's got to
advice.
be the shred up card.
Hold on. I did just take your advice and I looked through some 50s PSA stuff. Weird stuff I just found.
The
Apparently, it
one.
was an educational film on homosexuals.
Oh,
And I-
that one we actually lampooned in one of Dragnot's hangouts while we were going after Slick, actually. Yeah, I know the one. And by the way, dude, you are made of static again.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to hear you with all that stuff going on.
Yeah, Prudent, you have to buy new hardware. You really do. Get a new mic, man.
I'm broke. Deal with that.
Dollar store.
Get a job.
Well, yeah, there is an easy way to deal with it, but I didn't
will
have to
buy
do
you a
it.
headset. Just please get one.
Yeah, he dropped out of the call. And he's back, and it might be okay for 10 seconds. We'll find out.
Hey, Jade.
Is that better?
Yes. It doesn't sound like this.
No.
Jade, did you look at the link I dropped there on the sidebar?
Okay.
No orange Starlocks this time.
Back in the 1950s, the Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab. That's right, your kids can play with the radioactive material at home.
Yep.
Radium.
Hey, I had the Gilbert Chemistry Lab, and I made gunpowder with it.
Wow, that explains so much.
Jade, our current mad scientist.
Yes. Yes.
But thanks to rampant health and
Excellent.
safety, we just can't have toys like this anymore.
No.
You know, toys were way more fun when they killed us.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I had a Mickey Mouse watch with a radium dial,
Oh, cool.
but I lost it fairly quickly, so I wasn't really contaminated. But they used to do that a lot.
No, I was a child of the 80s, and we still had toys that killed us. We'd go to the park, and there's that slide, and you climb up the slide, and it was the windy slide of doom. And Yeah, I fell off the top of one of those, and I have a head injury. And now I have confessed to you all, that's what's wrong with me.
Actually, I'd like to point out, you know, as has been noted numerous times tonight, I live in Texas right now. Now, granted, I didn't grow up in Texas, but I've taken my kids to plenty of I have kids, and I've taken them to playgrounds. And the thing that strikes me is how many playgrounds have metal slides. And I'm thinking, yeah, in the middle of summer, are you fucking kidding me? Your kid will start at the top, and by the time they get to the bottom, half of their skin's burned clear the fuck off.
Yep.
What? It just greases the slide for the next kid.
Ugh, pretty much, yeah.
Oh gosh.
I
The kids
got-
melted to it.
I got so many burns from those metal slides because that's what we had in the 50s. But I didn't care. I loved the slides, so I just grin and bear it.
Actually, we have a comment from the chat, technically a question. Do you think a lot of the racism and homophobia in today's society are the result of how older people were raised? Actually, Americans in general, I think, are really susceptible to propaganda. And if you looked, and this is one thing, the reason why we went through that 1950s homosexuality PSA, is that if you looked at Slick's representation of everything wrong with homosexuality, you can see it all in that damn PSA. It's like this is what they were brainwashing the kids from, even somebody Matt Slick's age. Rest of the room?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's one thing to say, hey, I'm a Christian, I follow these laws, and I find that this is a law to follow, and that's one thing. Then to say, people that break these laws are going to ruin all of society, and all judgment's going to happen on America, and next is going to be cats and dogs and barns, and it turns into with Slick. Slick unfortunately dehumanizes people. He doesn't just say, hey, follow the law, this is a standard. He goes on and on and on about to the point of, I think it's dehumanizing.
Above you. He's above everybody. That's his.
Hang on. No. The question ideally is, do you think that the homophobia is the result of how older people were raised? And I was making a connection more so to the PSA and how we see that those affected some people.
Yeah.
Yes, I have an aunt that I'm quite sure was gay. And she had to hide, who she was and pretend she had boyfriends, because that's what people did, even though everybody knew.
Well, there's a cliche saying, get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich.
Right.
You could almost say that probably is a reflection of those PSAs. New toaster, new everything. Of those early.
Well, you can even go backwards to heterosexual PSAs, right? And you can go backwards to the war.
Well,
and there was a point where there was a campaign against STDs, right?
Oh, that one was fucked up too, yeah.
Because soldiers were picking up STDs, but
hang on, wait. They weren't picking up sexually transmitted diseases. They were picking up social diseases.
So they would make these PSAs.
That's my story.
I just want to finish real quick.
Let her finish.
Real quick. They used to make these posters and stuff that would be like "Beware of loose women."
Yeah.
And they would put all the pressure on the woman in these posters, which I think is there you go. There's the slut shaming. Like she's dirty. You're not.
But at the same point, there was a prophylactic in their little kit to go to war.
Yeah.
I would also more clip that.
Yeah, but hold on.
Spackle,
the other side of that too is in the military.
Hang on, Max.
If a man got an STD at that time due to the lack of actual antibiotics. Something as simple as the clap that puts him out of commission for weeks.
Well, the thing is,
which means you now have someone who's off the front line not being able to do their duty.
Well, I understand that there's a practical reason for it.
That's why they didn't want them doing this.
I absolutely understand that. But I'm trying to say is the way that their ads were put out.
Yeah.
were kind of, wow.
Well, the thing is, there's also things like, I believe it was syphilis that L. Ron Hubbard brought back from the war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how Scientology was created.
Yep.
During the Vietnam War, they had similar type PSAs that not PSAs, but that they showed to the soldiers. I know because I talked to guys who were who'd been to Vietnam and how they talked about it. But it's all slut shaming. It's all be aware of that woman. You know, it's not what you were doing. Nobody ever talked about what the man was doing. It was all beware of that woman.
Well, the most effective type of it's easier to implement an idea or action by way of fear, as opposed to a way of teaching responsibility and obligation. If you say
Also pride.
that woman, that other person, then it's something you're afraid of, and that's far more psychologically effective than saying this is the moral thing to do. And that's a sad fact about human nature.
But Max, also on the flip of that, not just fear, but pride. Because you take account the idea of American exceptionalism, Vietnam with all this slut shaming and all that, it's, you know, we're here as heroes.
Well, Vietnam, not so much viewed as heroes.
No,
but,
but you know,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I did have one of my friends tell me that they showed him a video, and I don't remember if he was in the Marines or not. But they sat them down and they showed them this video that showed what happened to your penis under certain STDs. Some guys threw up. I've actually seen those photos. So
hang on, let me cut in for 1 second. In response to the chat, I did actually type this in there, but at the same point, I want to actually answer it properly. The gay men recruit children thing is indeed really central to that 1950s thing. The entire thing that, you know, including the trope of gay men like following boys into the restroom to assault them and this kind of shit's all in there too. It's horrific.
Can I address that really quick?
But yeah, just a sec. But the real thing that was the kicker of it is, I believe it's the first one that they show, is this guy that meets this young male who's, you know, just graduating school, and he's about that age, whatever. And the guy starts talking to them and having a grand old time and starts buying him gifts and taking him to all kinds of different places and yada, yada, yada. And this man's trying to prey on the kid, and you're looking at it going, no, the kid's sitting there using the gay guy, and the gay guy thought they were dating. What the fuck? Go ahead.
Oh, I was on a conservative chat room on Facebook, or not a chat room, like a forum, you know, and it was conservative Christians, and they were talking about the subject of the Boy Scouts, whether or not they should allow gay Boy Scout leaders or not, and so I was kind of talking with them, and you know, it's the usual awful nonsense that happens on the internet. People were saying, well, they were literally phrasing it this way: why would a gay man want access to my children?
Yeah.
And I started arguing, and so then it turned into a kind of a, you know, Facebook forum brawl, you know, and it was me against the world, apparently.
Gay men and pedophiles are two different things.
And yeah, I was trying to explain that, and then this one guy who says he's been molested, it's like, no, like, this is what happens. They groom you and they change you, and then I said, oh, so you think you're gay now because somebody touched you? And like, you know, it just turned into this awful brawl. But the crazy thing is that like it is ingrained in people's heads that because they don't understand that behavior, you're now a threat, and you might like young people too, which is crazy to me. Like it's just the weirdest thinking, and the problem that I have with that thinking too is I think that and when I talked to Matt Slick on his show about it, what I was trying to get at is he perpetuates that type of thinking, that you are a threat and you are you know, somebody to be feared, and you know, it's just so weird.
And Tommy Hall.
Tommy Hall, yeah, you're like a walking airborne disease factory.
Well, hang on, I've got to ask a question of Jade right quick pertaining to the PSAs.
Doing this crack, so you know.
I've got to ask Jade a question pertaining to the PSAs because she's kind of the senior in the room here. How often do they play those PSAs?
I never saw them.
Oh, so these were just like limited things shown. Okay.
I did not go to public school.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. You don't help.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did they show those in public school, or were they like before certain movies?
I think they showed them in public schools.
Yeah, they showed them in public schools, but I never saw them. I saw a lot of movies as a kid. I never saw anything like that. They show these in public schools. I went to Catholic school.
I mean, I didn't know if those got the kind of exposure as the things that brainwashed me as a child. You know, conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up phrases and clauses with junction.
We saw a lot of Disney movies because Catholics had a lot of connections to Disney. So we got
how times changed.
Yeah. What I was going to say though is, between 50% and 75% of child molesters are not gay. Well, no, wait, let's put it this way. Actually, between 50% and 75% of child molesters are not pedophiles. That's the thing. So this whole, and of course, most child molesters are heterosexual men, and I'm talking percentage-wise. By far,
very few women.
Yeah, it's a very, very tiny percentage. And again, I'm talking percentage-wise. You know, like the percentage of gay men versus the percentage of heterosexual, not because the percentage of all men. Because people always go, well, gay men are only 1%. I said, no, you're missing the point.
I want to correct you really quick. You said the highest percentage is homosexual men, because I'd say there's plenty of heterosexual.
Hetero.
I was gonna say heterosexual abuse.
Sorry, I may have misstated myself, because no, the vast majority of child molesters are heterosexual men, and again, that's percentage-wise.
Yeah,
it's percentage-wise, not just percentage of the whole population, but percentage of homosexual men versus percentage of heterosexual men. And Freddie, if you don't move it, I'm going to whack you one.
Oh, and incidentally, in case you're not watching the chat, you've just got your little kudos there, Holy Sackle.
Yeah.
What's up?
Somebody gave you a little kudos for fighting the good fight.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And you deserve plenty of credit
under
for
my real name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I find scary about all of the fake information is that people aren't realizing that the danger isn't necessarily, the danger certainly isn't gay men, and the danger isn't even necessarily pedophiles. The danger is non-pedophilic heterosexual men, at least 50% of it. And if you're going to focus on one group, you're ignoring the real danger and ignoring why these people, because I spent some time researching. This is actually an uncomfortable subject that I'm not going to go into it. But because I think
it's upsetting, it's super upsetting, and it's more far-reaching, that it affects a lot more people than a lot of people realize.
Yeah, it does.
Me.
Yeah,
it affected my
has
whole life.
Yeah, but it has to be talked about honestly. And the part that bothers me is when people seem to think that there's only certain groups of people that you need to worry about. No.
Well, it's like the whole stranger danger thing. Oh no, worry about strangers. Worry about strangers. Statistically, if a child's going to be abducted, it's most likely going to be either someone they know or a family member, and frankly, more likely a family member.
Right. Yes.
No,
yes.
Or a neighbor. Could be a neighbor.
Yeah, I just want to say something on this, on the damage it can cause. Just one little thing. I was sitting in grade 9 public school. Heard 2 rows back from me, two guys talking about me, and they said the reason my parents divorced is because they found my father and me in bed together. My dad happens to be homosexual. That never happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the assumption was there.
Yep.
I looked, but
Go ahead.
Okay, Prudence, try to say something intelligent, please.
I was just going to say, I left the Hangout just so I can watch that 1950s PSA. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man.
1950s.
It was funny. I'll give it that. It was funny.
Now, go watch Duck and Cover.
Now, the kicker is, you say, it was kind of funny. Keep in mind that people believe this shit.
Oh, yeah. And I'd also like to say one thing. Is I did a video. I did a video on my channel. Can't hear a word you're saying, Wolfgang. At least I can't. I did a video on my channel about Matt Slick and his really bad references about homosexuality. I have part 2 that's coming up in a couple of days. Because Slick he's a liar. He's either really, really, really stupid, or he has read his references and he is passing
a sack
them along.
of shit is what he is.
I think. Let's go ahead. I'll respond.
I was going to say, or he hasn't read these references, and he's passing it along anyway, because he is passing on misinformation that is totally, utterly wrong. And that's what's scary, because people believe him. He's Matt Slick from CARM. So I went to his website and went and looked at his statistics, and they're just terrible. The references he uses are awful. So he's either really, really stupid, which I doubt, or he's deliberately passing on passive, which, yeah, I believe he is. He is. How honestly, I mean, how Christian is it to deliberately pass on misinformation? Now, if you want to argue against homosexuality,
cheat to win.
Thou
exactly.
shalt not bear false witness.
Okay, wait.
That's right.
I'm going to point something out. Now that we're talking about people that are sitting there and putting out bad information, even after it's pointed out to them that it's bad information, they keep circulating it. We are not going to go on to a tirade about Kazum tonight, okay, Para?
Yeah, okay.
Didn't even cross my mind.
Good, okay.
What? No.
Yeah, okay, can I just give you an example that I think is absolutely hysterical? The way that that these people attack. There is a reference Matt Slick uses. This is one I have not done in a video yet, where he talks about 30-some% of lesbians have problems with alcohol. Wow,
Drinking
1/3.
too much, consuming it, handling it, holding
Well,
it.
no, I don't remember the exact reference. I've got it. But anyway,
Maybe he just means they're clumsy.
No.
Kidding.
Let me just get to it. I know. So, like 30% of lesbians have problems with alcohol addiction, or whatever. Now that sounds really scary and scary to put that out there. Right. 1/3 of lesbians are alcoholics or something like that. However, did anyone ever bother to look up, besides me, what percentage of Americans have problems with alcohol?
45%.
Or women.
45%.
Wow.
It's about it's about 30-some%. It's the same. It's roughly the same number.
Doesn't matter
this
what category you find yourself in, we still got the same percentages because we're all human.
Right, but the point is that by just giving that percentage and not pointing out that it's the same for people across the country, that's a way of lying.
Yeah.
You're leaving out the other part of the information.
It's
You're leaving out
deliberately
the control.
misleading.
It's deliberately misleading. There's another one which he does with, because most of the time, most of the statistics people show are about gay men, and so there are not very many they tell about lesbians. And one of them is he brings up and says, "Oh my God, look at this! Lesbians have higher rates of bacterial vaginosis than all other women, than straight women." Well, that's actually true, and that's being investigated as to why. But here's the interesting point. Again, only looking at part of the information. Yes, homosexual women have higher rates of bacterial vaginosis than heterosexual women. On the other hand, heterosexual women have high rates of everything else.
Yeah.
In many cases, much higher rates. So it is entirely possible, that the reason that you're seeing higher rates of vaginosis in lesbians is because they don't have all this other stuff that is being masked by the syphilis, the chlamydia that heterosexual women have, and things like that. This is, huh?
No. Who has, out of curiosity, who has more yeast infections? Because I'm pretty sure that's straight women.
Yeast infections are different. They're not really sexual.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, and I don't know offhand. I really
and right now, the largest group of chlamydia are Texas school kids that were taught abstinence only.
Right, but I do think you're correct. I do think you're correct, Max. I do think heterosexual women.
Because you can't plan on having sex. That's an extra sin, right?
Yeah.
Right,
you can't plan to have prophylactics on you. That's extra sinny.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to wing it and then go, oops, I didn't mean to sin. Oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, I have a disease. Whoops.
Yep.
It's a sin to think for yourself.
Right. Well, doesn't Texas, I think, if I'm correct, has the highest rate of repeat teen pregnancies.
Yep, that it does, because there's
abstinence only doesn't work.
When they went through their little abstinence only program, there's something they kind of forgot. They tell them that if you have sex, you are going to get an STD, and the only way to protect yourself from getting an STD is not to have sex. And they then turn around and tell you that none of the birth control methods work. They actually say, and I love saying this, that condoms either break or fall off, thus proving that not everything is bigger in Texas. But more interesting than that, but more important than that, they leave out one key thing, which is how babies are made.
Well, the store comes and, the store with the pickles, and that's
They're a special gift from God, and these kids are thinking, God gave me another baby. It has nothing to do with having sex. And when their parents are like, you had sex, they're like, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. You got pregnant. But it's a gift from God. No. Ugh.
Well, and then don't forget, there's the loophole.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the loophole.
You know what's there really are people that believe in these loopholes. Like I had a Catholic girl explain to me. I play WoW and I meet all these interesting folks and we have weird conversations over Mumble, and this Catholic girl's trying to explain to me that there are 3 virginities and the only one that counts is the vaginal virginity. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like chastity is talked about in the Bible, and like I mean, if you want to follow biblical rules, you know, which I try to do, you know, like I was arguing for 1 virginity, right? And she's like, no, there's 3. She's like, she was seriously arguing, and it was just like, it reminds me of that
okay.
song, F me in the ass because I love Jesus,
okay,
right?
so there, wait.
She was just saying like oral doesn't count.
Okay.
Sex.
I just wanted to verify that the 3rd was oral. Okay.
Let's also remember this.
Anal
There's
doesn't count.
There's a second loophole. There's also a second loophole, which is it's not gay when it's in a 3-way. Eiffel Towers don't count.
No, here's the real loophole. It's not premarital if you don't plan on getting married.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know, have you heard of soaking?
Yes, the Mormons!
Yes,
the Mormons!
Wait. Stop. Explain.
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The Mormons are penetrating there because you get to the slippery slope. I mean, I experienced this. I was raised in the purity culture of evangelical Christianity, not Mormonism, and you just like, oh, I want to. No, I never did the purity ring thing. I actually didn't sign up either. But I was one of the people that lasted at least till my engagement. I made it to engagement. But it's like this slippery slope of like, if I go this far, then and you try to it was like this rubber band effect, right? So Mormons also experience these rubber banding effects because we're warring against our own biology. And so some Mormons thought it was a good idea to actually penetrate, but don't work it.
What?
So essentially, this is not okay, but this is okay.
So stick it in, just don't do anything afterwards?
Just think about
absolutely still.
Just think about all the hormones and everything else that you go through when you sort of edge like that, and like I'm like, what if he just goes, oh?
Yeah.
Some men are that sensitive.
A coughing fit, you're done.
Well, wait a minute, doesn't this take all the fun out of it?
No. A woman's a coughing fit does not take the fun out of it. A woman having a coughing fit does not take any fun out of it.
Coughing
I 100% endorse that message.
Oh, yeah.
When I heard about soaking, I just thought that is the most ridiculous idea I ever heard. I thought it was bad about the oral sex thing. I thought it was bad about the anal thing. Yeah. And soaking is like, wow, you really want to get pregnant, don't you? Like, it was just so out.
Yeah.
Well, and even if they're soaking and not moving, a man can still release sperm.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't know, it reminds me of the Catholic joke of the Hail Mary method of birth control.
No, usually Catholics go for the rhythm method.
No, Captain Obvious.
No, they don't.
Catholic, actually, I'd like to point out most Catholics do not have any rhythm at all.
Sorry, Max. I
have the dance floor skills that will completely change your mind about that, but I'm not going to get into it. And Jade is right. In terms of, in theory, that is what the church prescribes, but in practice, a lot of Catholics do use birth control.
Most do.
Every Catholic I know uses birth control.
Yeah, just about everyone I did. I went to an all-girls Catholic high school. And in my senior year, and there were about 104-something girls in my class, I think maybe 2 of them, possibly 3, didn't believe in birth control.
By the way, just special strawman agnostic in the chat. Penis, It's now officially.
Ah, fuck, we got
Oh,
close.
come on.
Vagina?
Paranor.
No,
We're gonna make it
Micro
equal.
penis.
no, it
Oh,
just
yeah, right.
at some point in every shuffle, someone says the word penis. So
Actually,
Paranor
the joke is it's every fucking hangout I do, shuffle or not.
yeah, oh yeah, that's true.
There was one hangout I did, and it was back when I was starting the Power Woo series, and we were dealing with the law of attraction.
Oh, yeah.
And there was this one guy that looked like, honestly, the video was titled something like "How to Attract Women," and the guy that was doing the speaking looked like Nosferatu from the classic horror movie. I mean, he actually did, kind of pseudo pointy ears and all, just weird looking motherfucker. So I pulled the women into the room to say, okay, now who does this remind you of? Kind of thing, and went with it. They're like, yeah. I'm like, but this is the guy that's going to tell people how to attract women, which of course I did for the laughs. And then out of nowhere, Queenie chimes in with, I want a penis.
Yeah, I know.
And this is an all-female hangout.
I know.
And I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Queenie is married now,
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, and his new name is Odysseus.
Yes.
Or Audie. Audie.
Oh, damn.
Him, Audie.
I have actually stated that I would want to name my kid Odysseus.
Oh, really?
I am actually happy that there's someone else out there with that name.
Yes. Well, so Queenie's name is now Odysseus Queen. He's keeping the queen.
And actually, on the stream, I'm going to mute the hangout for 1 second. Y'all can go ahead. I'll just cut back to it. I'm going to play that clip for the sake of the hangout.
One to name his kid, and he asked me for a name, and I said, "Oh, name your kid Aristos," which is Arabic for Aristotle. And he was like, "No, not."
Here we go. Let me get that clip going here. Okay, come on.
Ooh, I want a penis.
There we go. In the middle of a conversation with nothing but women, I'm like, what the fuck? Back to the hangout. Here we go. Wrong speakers. There we go. Wireless. There we go. Okay. Back to normal.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't do that quite the way I intended at first. It took me a second to get my act together. I've got to start setting my audio back up if I can. Last time I tried to do that, for some reason, Windows 10 was fucking hating me, but I'm going to have to see if I can get this set back up so that I can stream audio directly through the Hangout, because I've got some great fucking clips. The next series I have coming up is going after Teal Swan. It's going to be called Swan Plucking. It'll, of course, be on the Shadow Heathens channel. And the first episode of it is going to be Squolf doing a mock interview with Teal Swan. And I'm assembling some really interesting clips for it.
Okay, you need to use as a graphic the famous picture of Zeus as the swan raping Europa, is it?
No, actually what I was going to do is...
Is it Europa?
No, I'm going to be calling the series Plucking the Swan. And I'm going to put her face over the picture of a plucked swan.
Okay. Well, because there's that classic, and what's that poem?
Or tentatively.
And how's that poem go? He inserts his feathered glory.
Yeah, but I don't want to. That's a little bit too.
I just had to bring that up.
No. It's plucking the swan.
Oh, plucking. Oh, I thought you said fucking.
No, plucking the swan.
Okay. Well, that goes to show you where my hearing went.
Yeah. You're hearing what?
You're hearing.
Yeah, you're hearing indeed. Jade, while you're at it, move your hand.
I just want to make one note about swans. They squawk loudly.
When you're doing what to them?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Plucking, of course.
I don't need to know these things.
No, it's Lita in the Swan. How could I forget that? Lita in the Swan. Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually found today, going through them today, I found a clip today of her talking about, you're going to die. And you kind of think, I'm like, oh, that'll be a great clip to use. Anyway. But yeah, that should be out this week.
It's William Butler Yeats, and it's very short. And it goes, a sudden blow, the great wings beating still above the staggering girl, her thighs caressed by the dark webs, her nape caught in his bill. He holds her helpless, breast upon his breast. How can those terrified, vague fingers push the feathered glory from her loosening thighs? And how can that body, laid in the white rush, but feel the strange heart beating where it lies? A sudden shudder in the loins engenders there the broken wall, the burning roof and tower, and Agamemnon dead. Being so caught up, so mastered by the brute blood of the air, did she put on his knowledge with his power before the indifferent beak could let her drop?
Why are you reading porn?
Hey, that is a classic poem. That's a classic poem by William Butler Yeats. There you go.
I love you, Jade. I love you, but I have to hear that in Queen's sexy voice. Sorry.
Okay, hang on. Speak for yourself. I'd go for Deedle-Dee. And at the end of it, she has to say naughty, naughty, naughty.
Yeah. Yay, lunchtime.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy with Jade doing it.
Yes, lunchtime.
I have to admit, the first time I read that poem, because I minored in English literature, or British literature, or whatever, I was thinking, wait, a poem praising bestiality?
Not exactly.
Wow, I joined
I
it just
know,
in
but,
great
you know.
times.
You're going to love this.
Well, okay, it was Zeus, but he was in the shape of a swan, for goodness sake, so, yeah.
Oh, that's the tame Zeus story. Let's talk about the Minotaur.
Well, you know, now with what we now know about penis technology, so to speak, at least it wasn't a duck.
Yeah.
Fucking corkscrew, man.
Next time we're gonna have to read a little bit.
Too.
Yeah, with a duck would have got leader from across the room.
Let him kiss me with kisses from his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. Wait, let's read some Song of Solomon up in here.
Let's get biblical. Biblical.
Yeah, I got a question.
Biblical.
Why is
Let me hear your Bible talk.
Why is it
Sorry.
that all the YouTube Christians we meet don't like it when we bring up the Song of Solomon?
Oh,
Thy
I love the
cheeks
Song
are
of Solomon.
comely with rows of jewels, thy neck is
Yeah,
chains of gold.
Dieter likes the Song of Solomon.
Like,
I have
they
hit
love
on.
to quote their Bible left, right, and center, but as soon as they go to that book, it's like, no, doesn't exist.
A bundle of myrrh is my well-beloved unto me. He shall lie down all night and betwixt my breasts.
Okay.
Betwixt your breasts?
Me too. I have hit on a. There has been a girl or two I have used that book to hit on. One of which successful.
I have used this book. I have used this book to prove that oral sex is okay. To another
Hey.
person.
By the
Well,
way,
betwixt your breast sounds like a breakfast cereal almost.
oh no.
Listen,
By the
Crispin
way,
Quaist-
in amongst Jews, it is a mitzvah for a man to read the Song of Solomon with his wife on Friday nights and to bring her to orgasm. So,
Note to self.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know what betwixt means. I have to look this up. I actually found a word.
Between.
Okay.
Between.
That's what I gathered. But it's a very weird word.
I know,
What's the old
G-Man
word?
has a hard time reading the King James. It's hilarious.
He
Actually,
prefers the King James, which is even funnier.
yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like to hang on. I'd like to point out that with the instructions of please read this when you're doing videos so people can understand what the fuck you're saying, and, you know, even more so the damn atheist trying to understand the shit. I sent him a New King James with plain fucking English, and then after getting it, he insisted that it had 666 in it. I'm like, dude, it's Revelations. All Bibles have 666 in it, you idiot.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the Apocalypse of St. John the Divine? Sorry.
Yeah,
Catholic,
yeah,
I
that's-
get it in there.
But yeah, he was insisting that it had 666 in it. I'm like, dude, I sent you that Bible. The only place where it had 666 is fucking Rev.
Oh my
There are
God.
some that have
Okay.
I was
all right.
informed on Friday night that I'm an atheist. It doesn't matter if I have a Bible or not. I can't read it.
Apparently, yeah, that's... Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, you
what?
don't have the
You're
decoder
innocent
ring, that's
one.
Oh, for goodness sakes, just download the Song of Solomon. You don't need the rest of it.
Anyways, Jade, hold on a minute.
Okay.
I had the opportunity of running into Peripheral Prophet,
Oh no.
Oh, I am so sorry, dude.
and
what happened?
apparently he was comparing a Bible that he has with a Catholic Bible,
Oh dear.
and he saw the similarities between the two, but he knew there were some differences. And I asked him, "What Bible is it that you have?" And he said that he has a New Jerusalem Bible.
Oh no way.
I didn't have the heart. Max, please.
Wait, hang on. Let's
I just
finish.
have a question.
No,
Okay.
No. Headless will keep talking till he
Ask
gets
your
to finish.
question
Let him
after he
go.
finishes.
Let him go.
I did not have the heart to tell Peripheral Prophet that the New Jerusalem Bible is a Catholic Bible.
Oh, I just have a question though. When he said he was comparing the Protestant Bible with the Catholic Bible, don't you mean he was comparing a complete Bible with an incomplete Bible?
Oh.
Yes.
Well, actually, Max, he had a Catholic Bible and a New Jerusalem Bible, which are both
I know.
Catholic Bibles.
I have
Okay,
a
wait.
confession to make.
Hang
I have
on,
a
though.
confession to make.
Please,
I
hang on
have
one
read
second.
through the Bible, but
I
not
just-
the Catholic Bible.
I just want to point out that this entire argument is pseudepigraphal.
Yeah. I personally prefer either the old Douay Reims or the New American Bible.
No,
Oh, the
I just
Jewish-
realized.
I wish I could read the Latin just so I could read.
Oh, I read the
old-
Latin. I
Oh,
do
man,
read the Latin Vulgate. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so
have
I
to
guess
take
you could
up-
say those are my three favorites: the Latin Vulgate, the old Douay Reims, and the New American Bible.
Well, I just gotta say, I always do enjoy getting vulgar.
I have
I have a
whole
weird
bunch of
question.
Bibles of different kinds.
Do you know if the word maybe exists anywhere in the Bible?
You know, that's a good question because that brings us into Calvinism, and I don't really want to go there.
Well,
No,
no.
it doesn't. It brings us into answered prayer.
No, actually,
it does
no.
bring us into Calvinism.
Hang on, though. No.
I'm
Somebody
not
just
sure.
made the joke that the Bible has every answer. So this is important because if it doesn't have yes, no, and maybe, it does not have every answer.
We have to
Oh,
realize there's a difference between can, will, and maybe.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I just searched the King James version, and it doesn't have maybe because it's an older translation. But I'll check.
I
something
want
else.
to respond to Atheist Rex real quick. He says the KJV translates it as placing a hand on the inner thigh. There was a point where people would make oaths in the Old Testament, and they would actually quote unquote put their hand on the inner thigh. Now some people actually think it was
Yeah.
grab each other's balls, which is awesome.
It was the stones.
It
They
was the
held
stones. It was, it was. The root of testifying is to put one's hands on the testes. Yes, it's a
Yes,
thing.
The maybe is in Luke.
Okay, hang
Go
on.
ahead.
Sorry.
In Luke, it says, the owner of the vineyard said, "What shall I do? I shall send my beloved son. Maybe they will respect him."
Okay, it's in there. It has all the answers now.
It also depends on your Bible translation too. The King James,
Yes,
no,
yes.
because that was arcane. Yeah, the New American Standard that I read has the same verse trade, but if
Yeah.
you look at the easy to read Standard Bible, then it has quite a few.
I just had this really weird thought. Can you imagine if Tommy Hall met Matt Slick and they had to make a vow to each other and they had to grab each other's balls? Look at the imagery. It's a really
Well,
weird image.
Matt Slick has done the
Tommy's not very well
remember.
educated.
Oh, whoa! Two at a time.
Reminding him.
Two at a time, folks.
Remember, Matt Slick has done the jacuzzi before. Just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait,
with
what?
his gay friends.
Yes,
Wait, what?
his boyfriend.
Matt Slick would
Did you
get-
say
Matt
he
Slick would
came in the
definitely
jacuzzi? What did you just say?
Well, he went into the jacuzzi with some men of questionable character.
No.
Specifically gay friends. or
Yeah.
Gay men.
Rubbing up on
Yeah.
his thigh or something? What, how is the
And
story relevant?
He had an enjoyable time.
And that's
Look,
all he said.
I think
Yeah.
what he's
From
trying
what
to
I-
say is that his gay friends weren't all rapey on him. I think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
From what I've heard about
That's a pretty
that,
good comment coming from Slick.
yeah, from what I've actually
Okay, Static
I
Boy,
can't
gone.
hear you. You're not coming in clearly.
Come back
Yeah,
when you have a mic,
you've gone-
Prudent.
You've gone robotic again.
Prudent just got
I would-
punished.
I would like to point out that I would actually feel sorry for Matt Slick under those circumstances because Tommy wouldn't want to let go.
Ooh.
Lunatic Robot says he's going to write smut about the great debate community.
Oh, that's easy to do.
Bunto's
Yeah,
already been
do
doing
some slash
that.
fiction on that.
Ah, crap. Hey, microbloganism. You should, in theory, be on my regular invite list on Shadow. You should be able to get in that way if you want. But either way, I'll send you a regular invite.
No, it's the reason why the whole making an oath and grabbing the genitalia is so weird to me is, well, I mean, besides it being weird, besides that fact of being weird, like in our society, we would freak the heck out. We'd be like, that is so what the heck?
Well, here's the other thing: is women couldn't make oaths.
Yeah, it was just man on to man. The crazy other thing is, I've heard people go, "Oh, Jonathan and David were gay," because Jonathan makes an oath to David, right? And I don't think they're gay, by the way. Spoiler alert. But Jonathan makes an oath to David, and he says, "Everything that I am, everything that I have is yours," and he takes off his clothes. And he strips down and hands everything that he's wearing to David, and people go, "Well, that's super gay." But this is a society that grabs each other's balls and says, "I'm not gay."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't really care. I could care less, and I don't think it's even particularly important whether David and Jonathan had a sexual relationship.
No, I've heard gay apologists try to
I know I have too, and I always tell them, what difference does it make?
No.
It's just ridiculous, especially when you do go back in time. And I this is so funny because I deal with this with creationists all the time in a different sense. But when you go back to a different time in history, yeah, the culture was different, the language was different, and I deal with that with creationists in talking about the freaking 19th century, and they're perfectly okay if you say, well, yeah, of course things were different in the Bible. It was a different culture, a different time. But if I go to the 19th century and I say, no, that doesn't mean what it means because it was a different century, a different time. They're, oh, no, it was the same. But you... Yeah,
no, it wasn't. It wasn't always the same. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, right? Like, I would say problems.
Right.
But there's some cultural things that would not be okay now, like grabbing each other's balls to make an oath would not be okay.
Slavery.
Would not be okay. We were allowed to socially evolve past some of these things.
Jade, face it, Oscar Wilde wrecked it for everyone.
I love Oscar Wilde. I just want to point that out.
One of the things that's really amazing is how this very flamboyant gay man traveled the American West, and they loved him.
Oh, he also was a avid boxing fan, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to the South to see a famous boxing match. Who it was between, I can't remember, but interesting tidbit about him nonetheless.
Oh, was it the...
yeah, he was bald, had a bit of a beard.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, the Irishman.
Yeah,
yeah, I know who you're talking about, and I can't think of it right now, because I can see the picture.
Max, you do realize you describe pretty much every boxer of that time period.
No, he's talking about an iconic character.
Stood like this.
Sullivan!
Yes, James Sullivan.
Yes.
Yeah, Sullivan. Yeah, he was an iconic boxer of that period, yeah.
John L. Sullivan, yes, that was his name.
Yes.
Well, sometimes you want to see shirtless men, and wrestling wasn't popular.
Yeah.
Oh, wrestling was popular.
Not as much as boxing was.
Not as much.
No, because they had boxing events everywhere, and it was all bare knuckles. So
but Abraham Lincoln paid his way through law school as a wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh, he was the Andre Giant of the time.
Speaking of boxing, one of the funniest movies in several ways is the one Tom Cruise did that movie where he was a boxer.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Far and Away?
Yeah, Far and Away. I'm sorry. I could not buy Tom Cruise as a bare knuckle boxer. Just no, sorry.
Yeah, that movie wasn't extremely good.
No, it wasn't.
Very handsome man.
There we go.
Look at that stash. Look at that stash.
Yeah.
Really. And as someone of Irish descent, I'm very familiar with John L. Sullivan.
Hang on 1 second. The Hangout's fucking with me. You want to see if want to try and send an invite to Microbloggism Para, please?
Oh, sure.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It's fucking with me tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, incidentally, for those that have just come on board, the prior Hangout, I actually stacked the deck and had a Hangout full of theists. Entirely Christian Hangout, with the exception, of course, of myself. And I invited Armor Christian in, and he refused to come in, stating that he wouldn't come in a Hangout full of atheists. And I told him it was a Hangout full of Christians with one atheist. And he still refused to come in, so I'm calling him a Poe from here on out.
Well, his armor is apparently made of papier-mâché.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. came down with a serious case of bitchitis.
Yep.
Oh yes, pussy bitchitis.
And
bitchitis,
here comes
thank you.
Micro. Cool. Thank you.
Who's the other guy with bitchitis?
Insert name here.
Yeah,
Jamal.
Jamal Williams.
Yeah,
I
Jamal's
mean,
the
all he
alternate.
would have had to do is just to come in and tell us off and then leave. But he wouldn't even do that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been fine with that at this point, but you know, it's just bullshit, pussy ass crap.
A Christian afraid of Christians. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Micro.
Hey.
But yeah, the point at which I go out of my way to stack the deck with Christians, granted, you know, Christians that I think are agreeable people and decent people, you know, as opposed to my opinion of him. And still, no, I can't be around reasonable people. It doesn't matter what they believe. That's kind of what it comes down to. Bitch ass motherfucker, that one.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped talking to him after calling him a Poe. He called me a Poe afterwards, you know. And
well, your mom's Poe.
Yeah, exactly.
No
But
kidding.
he asked me, he said something, and then I didn't respond, and suddenly it was like, "Aren't you going to ask why I call you a Poe?" Like, dude, biggest giveaway.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm declaring him a Poe. I don't give a shit whether he really may believe something or not. I don't give a crap. The simple fact of the matter is, whether you believe or not, he's either trolling or he's a fucking Poe, and he's a useless sack of shit, because fuck you. You know, oh, I'm not I'd have to be high to enter a room full of atheists. I'd get so mad. Dude, no, that's not what you're entering here.
Mm-hmm.
I went out of my way to make sure, with the exception of myself, it was nothing but Christians. And I was going to wait till he got in the room and accused us of all being atheists, and then go, ha-ha, reveal, everyone's a Christian except for me, ha-ha, fuck you. But, you know, with him starting off with that in external, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll fucking let the cat out of the bag. Sorry, this is a setup, they're all fucking Christians. Get in here. No.
Has he has he explained why he didn't come in after he made the big reveal?
No. No, I haven't been able to get back onto 13 Shadows because I'm on moderator right now.
Fair
I
enough.
want to
That
point
way I get
out,
my live light.
there's a channel called Modern Apologetics, and these two boys that are doing it, whether you like them or not, they're 14 years old, and they do a much better job than a lot of the people around here. And I still think, you know, like, I think they have a ways to go, but they kind of they like Aquinas and stuff like that. For 14 years old, they're doing a better job than a lot of these adults around here.
Yeah, and that's kind of sad when you think about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever happened to going outside and playing and like riding bikes and climbing trees instead of sitting in your basement making apologetic videos?
Well, they might do that as well. I don't do that. I'm a little old for climbing trees, and I do have a bike, though. It has a motor on it, though.
Yes, but I bet you still swinging the swing.
Well, I still like making blanket and pillow forts.
Good girl. Love it.
It keeps the cat off the bed.
Fair enough.
I have to say Dr. Light now. There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
No, yeah. Well, there's that meme going around with Jack Sparrow on it that says, I don't know how to act my age. I've never been this age before.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Yep.
And there is a certain joy in getting to a certain age where you can get away with crap.
Well, age is just a number, for crying out loud. You're always as old as you are because, I mean, you're never anything different except what you become.
Right.
I know that sounded zen and wiggle woggly.
Okay,
I know. I can remember my grandmother when she was around my age talking about how she still felt like she was in her 20s inside. And guess what? She was right. I don't feel any older.
Yeah,
I mean, there are people who fossilize. I'm not one of them.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm fossilizing early. However, I have to make a quick note to the comments. Strawman Agnostic, in a note stating, in an alternate reality where Jesus is gay. I don't know if that was the tail end of it. Again, I don't feel like scrolling up. But take a look for, just do some research and look for the gospel in which Jesus invites one of his male apostles into his tent to show him the kingdom of God.
What could that possibly mean?
I don't.
Especially since you have to have Jesus inside, you have that.
But if you're looking to
on the table, it's a model.
But if you're looking to be a dick to the homophobic Christians, that's the verse to do it with.
True.
I've seen a lot of weird ways people have taken things like Jesus loved John the most, therefore Jesus and John had a relationship, and I was like, what?
No, this is like
What?
this is literally taking Thomas into his tent privately to teach him the kingdom of the Lord or something like, or to show him the kingdom of the Lord or something. It was really fucking kind of like, what wording?
Thomas was the guy that needed extra help all the time. He needed explaining.
Yeah.
Thomas, I feel for. I feel like I'm Thomas. You know, like if I was to relate to a disciple, I feel for Thomas, man. I'm like.
Wait.
But hang on though. Wait a minute though.
Thomas.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
but
that might be why you had to explain a little more to him.
But Holy, you're not homophobic. You won't freak out over that verse. You'll look at it and go, well, what might they be talking about? You won't go, ah! That's the point.
Here's one thing. I'll apologize at the start because it's going to be definitely not top notch. But for the ultimate Jesus gay porn would be after the resurrection. I mean, hell, 7 holes, guys.
Oh God!
well, it's a shame that we kicked Prudent before getting into the Prudent golf course again. On that note.
Yeah. Don't worry if we need to simulate Prudent being here, I'll just get a little more whinier and do this.
No, that's okay. No. Yeah.
Guys, I don't know. I don't really like that.
Yeah, he was kicked for a bad mic because I got tired of that shit.
Max, if you want to impersonate Prudent, you're gonna have to go get a calculator.
Hey guys, this calculator has boobs on it.
What? And you have to lay in your bed while you're on the...
You know, I just want to point out that there's a hierarchy of nerds, you know, and so nerds making fun of nerds is always interesting to me. Like Max, you're a bit nerdy. I'm a bit nerdy. I'm a bit nerdy. You're a bit nerdy. Yes, you are.
I think
regards to
fall into a category known as spaz.
No, that's not me being nerdy. That's me trying to extend my words so I have time to think.
Hang on. Wait. Okay.
You're a little bit nerdy.
Are you a brown shirt? Or brown coat, rather?
Yes, I am.
I'm a brown coat. I'm proud.
Brown coat.
Brown.
I wouldn't say brown. No, don't say brown.
Your coat's kind of brown.
Yeah, I fixed it to brown coat.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what brown coat means.
Okay, your geek cred fails.
I'm a brown.
I don't know what it means either.
His geek, anyone who does not get the Firefly reference has failed their geek cred.
Right.
That's why he's a nerd. He falls into the nerd category, not the geek category.
Yeah, geeks are
the
cool,
geek
nerds
is
aren't.
wrong with this one. The nerd is wrong with that one.
Yeah, geek is cool, nerd not so much.
Like Prudent is a nerd. Prudent's not a geek.
Well, religious people by definition are geeks. I mean, we obsess over one thing.
No, that would be nerdy.
No, that's just being an obsessive twat. That has nothing to do with that has nothing to do with geek cred. No.
Like I talked about 11th century medieval theology, and I don't think that.
No. That makes you wait.
You like to talk about the modern stuff, huh?
Well, hang on. No. Talking about ancient theology does not make you a geek.
Let's go back to Augustine, okay?
It doesn't make you a geek.
I can so go back to Augustine.
Oh, shut up, you two! For fuck's sake.
The Augustine rap.
I'm going to finish this statement. The thing is, that doesn't make you a geek. That makes you boring.
It's sort of like you become the Codsworth of
I have a question. Is Max going
theology?
to go
You know Codsworth from Belle and the Beast, you know? Baroque period.
As Faithless just pointed, winning a Trivial Pursuit Bible edition does not make you a geek. It makes you boring.
Wait,
there
is some
what
Trivial
does
Pursuit
being a
Bible
geek
edition?
mean, though?
What?
Yep.
What does being a geek mean, though? Geeks are usually obsessive.
What did you just do?
Oh, I just went to that place and got books. I was just showing my weekend reading.
Stop, hold on.
It's official. Max is trying to argue with someone on the internet.
All I'm saying is my weekend.
Bed check, Max. Is your bed made?
Is your bed made? Come on.
Okay, it's not made, but I don't
Your
know.
argument is invalid.
Argument's
I'm going to
invalid.
bed
It's not
soon.
made.
No, I'm going to bed soon. Doesn't count.
I'll
any
tell you
case-
about my new book if you show me your new book.
Ooh,
My new
kinky.
book.
Actually, we got 14 done, which means we can get back on track with 18 through 30.
And
Oh!
Augustus.
The Augustine Catechism.
Oh,
Mine
sounds
mine
like
is
a
a
fitting
little
read.
mine is a little more scientific. It's called The Emergence of Biological Organization by Henry Wadsworth.
Sweet.
Just got it today.
No, actually,
We're
geek.
sciencey then.
Yeah, Max,
Yeah,
answer your
I-
question. Geek in the modern days is a little bit of is more so referring to like the tech junkies and the people that are more into the sci-fi edge kind of
Oh, okay.
pop culture.
Felicia Day. Get to know her.
I see that.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're correct. I wouldn't
It's
do
the
that.
things that used to be considered really uncool that are now cool.
Yeah. I also recently got my George R.R. Martin, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms book.
I haven't read any of those books. I have the first one, and I haven't read it yet.
Oh, I've read them
my
all
today. Yeah.
several times.
Oh,
Yeah.
this weekend I also managed to read 2 very short books, both by Henry Frankfurt. One is called On Bullshit, which is just him saying what bullshit is and why it's even worse than lying. And his other book on equality, where he says equality as such isn't actually a good thing. What makes it good is when it breeds a good outcome, not in itself. So you can have a society where everyone's unequal, but everyone's doing really well. In fact, when the richest man in America used to be,
Okay, Epi and Max, are you starting to go down that philosophy road again? Because
The
I can
robber
kick
barons? Hey,
not the robber baron.
robber barons?
No, I'm trying to remember. Very rich guy, Rockefeller,
Max.
Nelson Rockefeller.
Yes.
He was a man who was far richer than Bill Gates or many of today's modern billionaires. Like he could have paid Bill Gates to park his car back when he was rich.
Right.
And yet there was far more income inequality, and yet the middle class was far better off then than it is today, in terms of being able to run a family.
Right, but that was the post-war world. That's a very unique
Yeah.
period in American history that has no other parallel. And Rockefeller, by the way, likely died in the saddle.
What do you mean in the saddle?
In bed.
Bounce, ticka, ticka, bounce.
Oh, okay.
Well,
You do that so well, dude.
that is the way to go.
Well, hang on though. We gotta cut Max slack for not realizing what we were talking about because he is the virgin in the room.
Yes.
No, this is why I need Prudent around. She's much more of a believer than I am.
No. You're okay, Max, because in your case it's by choice.
Thank
No,
you.
Rockefeller, the era of Rockefeller, the original Romney, George Romney, not his idiot son, and Romney. Well, no, it was George Romney, and I'm trying to think. Someone else I can't think of. That was the era when Republicans weren't complete fucking idiots.
Ah, the good old days.
Yeah, and there's someone else I can't think of. And of course, there's also the grand old man of the Grand Old Party, which was Barry Goldwater.
Oh,
That's a
right.
good name.
Yeah, who I completely disagreed with, but at least I could disagree with him rationally. You know what I mean?
Remember-
He made sense.
Right. Remember when Jerry Falwell said every concerned Christian ought to be concerned with Sandra Day O'Connor, and Goldwater's reply was every good Christian ought to kick Jerry Falwell in the ass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was terrified of well, I wouldn't necessarily terrified, but he was definitely afraid of the whole religious right moving into the Republican Party, and his predictions were dead on. Yeah, totally fucked up the party. Crap, what can I think of the third horseman of the? Well, I guess I'm thinking of the liberal Republicans. I can't remember. Romney, Rockefeller, Arg, and that's not his name. No, whatever.
Arg.
Yeah, Arg.
The point of me just wasn't to suggest that we're better off when there's a huge rich man in power. The only point was, there isn't really such a problem with income inequality unless, so long as the middle class or society at large is benefiting. Like, you can have a society where like, I would much rather be a part of an advanced society with slaves as opposed to us, even as a slave, as opposed to a society wherein everyone was doing shit, but equally so.
Right, but that was also an era where we had strong unions
Mhm.
balancing out the wealthy, business owners.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I'm all for unions.
yeah, and people could work for like a steel company, and they made really good money, and you could make a living there and raise your family and buy a house and the whole thing, and nobody cared that much that the rich owner of the steel company made mega millions, because the workers actually had a good wage, not just a decent wage, not just a livable wage. They actually had a good wage where they could like buy new refrigerators and all that stuff that was advertised on TV, and have a standard of living that was much higher, and have good schools.
And that's when the middle class was created.
Right, exactly. The modern middle class. There were middle classes
Jay,
before,
that also comes about because if you're building refrigerators, cars, and all that stuff on TV, if you don't have a group of people who can afford to buy it, then you can't sell it to anyone.
Okay, I've got to do a quick check on something. Somebody may be blaspheming in the chat. Did somebody just say they didn't like Monty Python?
No, he said he liked Monty Python.
Okay, good, because that would be blasphemy. That would be blasphemy.
I'll be a little honest, I don't really like Monty Python.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition!
Don't say that, Max. Are you
There are a few skits that make me laugh, but by and large...
all right.
If I had a big fish right now, I'm just saying, Max.
Okay, my finger is over the eject button. Be very careful, Max.
But there are a few skits which I do like, and I do see the quaint humor in. And I can definitely see why it was so popular at the time.
Hold on a minute, heathens. Max, Life of Brian, Holy Grail.
Holy Grail's the best.
I have to say Holy Grail was better than Life of Brian.
Okay.
Really?
Teeth like this. Teeth like
Well,
this.
to be fair, Holy Grail was nowhere as blasphemous as Life of Brian.
Oh, Life of Brian was hilarious. No. There's nothing. There was nothing blasphemous. He was the guy born in the stable next door.
On the bright side. That's a little awkward.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's copyright music.
He was born in the stable next door. It isn't the life of Jesus. It's the life of the guy born next to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
He was the next manger over. Come on.
He said, "Fuck off," and they said, "How should we fuck off, O Lord?"
I have his shoe. I have his God.
He's the Messiah. I should know. I followed a few.
Yep.
Jehovah.
I'm the weirdo. I'm the weirdo that thinks Jesus Christ Superstar is more blasphemous than Monty Python.
Jesus Christ.
That was mentioned, but
I would probably agree with you.
Mm.
I remember when that came out. Jesus Christ Superstar came out, and Godspell came out, and I was face-palming through both of them.
I don't know how to love him. I'm like, oh, this is a horrible song. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It is, and I used to sing it all the time to annoy my friends.
So,
But wait. I have to say though, I did like their portrayal of Judas.
he was a little more complicated.
He was like the Jimi Hendrix of Judas.
He was also black.
Well, actually, what I liked about the way they did Judas in it was that Judas was kind of like, seeing the arrogance and what have you in this character going around, I'm God, and kind of, fuck you, man. I kind of get that.
Yeah. But it was.
He thought that Jesus got too big for his britches, basically.
It was a social commentary.
Yeah. And technically,
I'm kind of biased against both of them, partly because they came out during the time when the Jesus freaks were running around driving everybody crazy.
Jesus is just all right.
Still doing.
Oh, please.
you couldn't
like go downtown to Hollywood Boulevard and places like that without running into the Jesus freaks who would run up to you going, "Have you found Jesus? Have you found Jesus?"
If you want to know where Calvary Chapel churches were born, they were born out of the Jesus freak movement.
Yes, they were. And
honestly,
I would look at them and go, "Wait a minute! You lost him? Oh my God, they lost Jesus. We must go look for Jesus right now. And we turned around and run away.
It was so
there.
extreme.
Hang on,
People were sleeping on the roofs because they thought the rapture was going to happen anytime.
Okay, hang on. I got it. Now, I have door knockers that come by here from the friggin' Baptist church up the way, and I've already had their damn pastor by here. And I am waiting for the one day I'm going to hang out on camera when they knock on the frickin' door, because I'm going to ask them to come in for a moment when they say, "Have you found Jesus?" And say, "Hang on a second. Stand right here. Now, you asked if I found Jesus. Give me 1 second. Reach in the closet, pull the literal skeleton I have. It's a Halloween skeleton out of the closet and say, 'Here, is this who you're looking for?'"
Aww.
They will run and scream and call the police.
I fucking hope so.
But oh my God, yeah, Hollywood Boulevard and the Miracle Mile. Oh my God, you couldn't go there and hang out without these idiots running up and asking you if you found Jesus or something like that. I mean, seriously, they replaced the Hare Krishnas. The Hare Krishnas were more fun.
No, the last time that somebody actually literally said, "Have you found Jesus?" I deliberately overreacted. I said, "What the hell's the matter with you people? Did you lose him again? And why do you expect me to keep trying to find him for you?"
I know, I would always say stuff like that. Whatever they said, I would, come back with some comment. And
of course, my favorite was recently when the Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on my door and wanted to talk to me about hell and the devil.
Which they don't believe in hell, by the way.
The Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in hell, then why the hell were they talking?
Jehovah's Witnesses are annihilation.
Oh wait, no. Sorry, it was specifically the devil they were trying to talk to me about.
Yeah.
But regardless, you remember that hangout we did talking about Hasatan and the whole G-man devil bullshit and all that, Jade, ages ago?
Yes.
It was It was right after all that research had been completed. So I gave them a fucking earful.
It's more Jewish.
I know, I noticed that.
Yeah, Hasatan, the classical Jewish representation, was of the loyal servant of God, member of the divine council, accuser of the faithful, because that was his freaking job.
Right.
And somewhere down the road, instead of that, it turned into this evil opposition that God somehow lets keep running, and it's going to be chained, and what the hell are you talking about?
They kind of turned Satan into Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, well, I mean, worse yet, though, if you look at these scriptures and you actually read it, understanding the Jewish perception of Hasatan, the whole thing with Jesus being tested, if you go back to the original language, Jesus is brought up on high and brought before Hasatan to be tested.
Yeah.
What do you think brought up on high fucking means, you little Christian retard? You little fundy retards? For fuck's sake, it's telling you, okay, God brings Jesus up before the Satan character and says, "Here, test my boy. See how he does." And he passes. Good job.
Yeah.
Sort of Job-like.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is completely lost on them. Instead of, "This is evil, blah, blah, blah." Oh, fuck off.
You know, I've thought of doing some faith content on my channel, not as like I don't consider myself an apologist or a teacher, but just about Christian living and my experiences and stuff. And I always found the story where Satan tempts Jesus really interesting, because I think a lot of it's for our sake,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what he tempts him with is really interesting, and one of them is possession and kingdom, and I feel like it's so applicable to Republican Christians today.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, and then of course they get the fundies confuse Satan with Lucifer.
Oh, the Lucifer thing I think is absolutely fucking hilarious.
Well, I just again recently ran into someone, and this happens to me periodically, who was telling me all about how the Catholic Church is satanic because they worship Lucifer, and he linked me to a mass that Pope Francis was part of, and where they have this prayer to Lucifer. And I've been through this so many times with these people.
Oh crap! Wait a minute. Wait, Jade. Are you saying that they prayed to Jesus?
Yes, they pray to Jesus. Isn't that shocking?
Oh crap!
I know, because I've had to explain that Lucifer is a Latin term for light bringer or bringer of light. This is a very ancient prayer. It is to Jesus because Jesus is the bringer of light.
Also, and the bringer of light used sarcastically or sardonically, if you prefer, when addressing the king of Babylon, is an insult they use against him. They're talking about the damn king of Babylon. And my favorite is G-Man is like, no, it can't be that because it says he was in Eden. I'm like, dude, that's metaphoric speak. That's poetic language. They're not saying he was literally in Eden unless you're claiming that the Babylonian Empire existed during the time of Eden.
So I think Lucifer can refer to Satan, and the reason why I think so is because he's fraudulent, right? He's the fraud.
Right, it can, but you also have to remember Lucifer is a Latin word.
Yeah.
What was the Bible written in?
Hang on. No, hang on. Please.
Well, I think it's related
please,
to the word phosphorus, right?
Yeah.
No,
I'm going to bed.
Actually, I'm going to point something out here.
Is.
Now, I will consider that maybe you could honestly say that Lucifer can refer to the devil if you agree that Bob can refer to the devil.
Well, Lucifer refers to the devil before he fell.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
No, it doesn't. That is later fan fiction.
In Jude?
Oh, yeah, Lightbringer. Actually, I think...
Yeah.
Yeah, in Jude.
Yeah, you can make a pretty good argument that that's in reference to the King of Babylon.
Yeah.
Actually, the reference is it's either is it the Isaiah? I think it's the Ezekiel reference is where Lucifer actually pops up.
But again, it's a Latin word, for goodness sakes.
It's a letter written to the king of Babylon to basically mock him and tell him that yeah, you think you're so great now, you're fucked, dude. But the thing is, the whole Lucifer thing, the whole notion of the fall came later. That isn't something that's early scripture. That came much later. That wasn't introduced until after the Hellenistic traditions were introduced into the church. That was around the time of the books of... Actually, that was technically post-Book of Jubilee and what have you. This is later fictions that were introduced.
I don't know if I agree with that. But...
Okay, you get to... okay, the first instance of a, so to speak, fall of the angels is actually the Book of Enoch. And Lucifer was not the leader of the angels in the Book of Enoch. And the fall wasn't this big war in heaven. God said, go, watch over mankind. And the angels got fresh with the human women, and that's where the Nephilim came from.
We all don't think Enoch is inspired. Every
I know, but the whole Lucifer equals devil thing came later than Enoch.
It came with the Book of Revelations.
Well, in Jude.
Lucifer is referenced where in Revelation in relation to the devil? This Hasatan character.
Lightbringer.
It's... Oh, I see. Lucifer's the Lightbringer.
Right. And because that, as I said, that's Latin for Lightbringer, and it could mean a lot of things.
Also, I think it's related to the word phosphorus, if I remember right.
Yeah, it is. I believe you're correct. It is. And it's also the planet Venus when it's the morning star, is Lucifer. And for a very long time, matches were called Lucifers.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I actually knew Phosphorus. There's a guy named Phosphorus, and he's got a picture of Satan, and I caught it right away. And it was actually pretty clever, I thought.
Well, one of the funny things is when I was younger and I was reading a lot of old literature, because I like to read a lot of old literature, I came to a phrase in a book where the guy was striking a Lucifer. And I was like, what?
Striking Lucifer.
Okay, hang on, Max.
Striking a match.
Hang on, Max. You claimed that Lucifer is referenced in Rev Show Me Where, because the only reference I find is Isaiah 14:12-17.
Right, I think I was mistaken about that. I thought it was just...
Yes, you were mistaken, because the only real reference to Lucifer you're going to find is that Isaiah reference.
Right, downfall of the king about... On that day when the Lord gives you rest from your sorrow and turmoil, from the hard service with which you have served, you will take up the taunt song against the king of Babylon. How the oppressor has come to an end. How the turmoil has ended. The Lord has broken the rod of the wicked and the staff of tyrants. The struck people in the wrath of the relentless blows that ruled the nations in anger with boundless persecution. The whole earth rests peacefully. Song breaks forth. The very cypresses rejoice over you. The cedars of Lebanon. Now that you are laid to rest, no one comes to cut us down. Below Sheol is all austere, preparing for your coming, awakening the shades to greet you. All the leaders of the earth, making all the kings of the nations rise from their thrones. All speak out and say to you, you have become weak like us, you are just like us.
I just want to point out Lucifer.
Oh, how you have fallen from the heavens, O morning star, the son of dawn.
Yeah, Lucifer means morning star.
Yeah. Yeah. Or a match.
Yeah.
Or Jesus.
I also think that some people think that the Lucifer title is referenced. So, like, you know, the New Testament always references the Old Testament constantly. Like especially Hebrews, that's something, you know, they always do, but Paul does too. But in Corinthians, angel of light is referred to as Satan, which is really seems like counterintuitive to call. You'd think he'd be the angel of darkness.
Where are we talking about in the book?
I believe it's 2 Corinthians. Let me look it up.
Let me grab Blue Letter here. I'm not going to use all my resources tonight because I don't care.
One second. Let me look it up just to make sure. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I'm at 2 Corinthians.
And why is it not typing?
Kindle. I have
My keyboard kit just jumped out. What's going on?
Okay, 2 Corinthians 11:14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14. This is King James Version.
Hang on, my keyboard just died. Damn it.
And so some people have said like phosphorus, Lucifer. This is the reference, light bearer.
Right.
Hang on. Let me get my keyboard working again here. I don't know what just happened. There we go. Get back in there. Okay.
Yeah, and well, my version says, and no wonder, for even Satan masquerades as an angel of light.
For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Okay.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's the idea of light bearer and phosphorus and things like that. It's just the idea. It's the concept. I think it's where the concept comes from.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
So even if Isaiah isn't literally Lucifer and it's really the king, you know, which I think is a really good argument, I do think that the reference is intentional.
Well, I don't know. You could try to say the reference is intentional there, but if you talk to any actual Jew, they'll let you know that, you know, that's specifically talking about the king of Babylon. And that king would be long dead by that point, so it doesn't really make any sense. Because it's a taunt that is used against the king of Babylon.
But it's just like Satan's also called all sorts of things. The Lord of the Flies, you know. There's interesting names for Satan. The opponent,
but the thing
adversary.
is, even if you claim, you know, that he's transformed into an angel of light, blah, blah, that's fine and dandy, but that doesn't tie back to Babylon.
Apollyon, the destroyer.
Yeah.
Still not tying back to the king of Babylon. The whole linking of Lucifer actually came significantly later in later Christian writings.
Yeah, it did, but it was and when it did, it referred to Satan before the fall.
And the fall itself isn't technically biblical.
Right.
Wait, I think the fall. Wait, you mean fall as in original sin, or do you think?
No, I'm not talking original sin. I'm talking
out of Eden.
Yeah.
The supposed war in heaven. That's
I see.
Satan cast down, all this kind of. That's strictly speaking not biblical.
That's out of Jude.
Yeah.
Michael cast Satan out in the third of the angels in Jude. The archangel Michael. It's in the book of Jude.
Oh, and by the way, I just looked this up, Deidre. You are correct. The Latin is Lucifer. The Greek is Phosphorus.
Okay, so my bad for mixing up the. I do this all the time.
Right.
I suck at it. Is mixing up Greek and Latin. So it's somewhere in my head.
Right.
Everybody does that, considering that we have words like television.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that a great word?
Homosexuality is another term that's
weird.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah, phosphorus. Yeah, I thought it was a clever reference. I caught it, and I thought, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're right. That is the Greek. Lucifer is Latin. Greek is phosphorus. Which makes sense because phosphorus is a light source.
Right.
I mean, that's what matches were made of, which also fits why they were called lucifers, because matches used to have phosphorus heads.
Another word I find interesting in its evolution is sinister, because originally that was just left.
Right, exactly. Dexter is right, sinister is left.
Yeah, which is interesting. I highly suspect that's why left-handed people were seen of the devil.
Oh, that is where that comes from.
Yeah, which is interesting because there are a number of left-handed people in the Bible.
Yeah.
So
And they make great tailors.
yeah.
Actually, that's the Underground Railroad of the day were tailors because they always needed somebody who could cut the left side, and a left-handed person would do it easy by nature.
Is Paranoid breaking up for everybody, or just
Yeah, a little
you're
bit on my
breaking
end
up
too.
A little bit.
Okay, I'll refresh.
Well, but Sinistra and Dexter are still in use today in chemistry.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Let's see now. Incidentally, I was writing my first thoughts. I wanted to actually check before looking it up. Jude is indeed one of the contested books and is considered apocryphal by many. Let's see now. And part of this because it references non-canonical texts, including Enoch.
Yeah,
Verses
there's
14 to
Enoch
15
reference, yeah.
contain a direct quote of a prophecy from Enoch 1:9.
Am I sounding better, by the way?
You're just a little off. But that's the thing.
But
The thing is, if it's
been
quoting
included in our canon, it's been included in our canon.
But
Even Protestant.
if it's quoting Enoch, it's quoting the extra canonical text which had the fall in it.
Right, but then one could ask the question, where did Enoch come from? Maybe they both quote an earlier text.
Why was Enoch not included in our canon, Max? Do you know?
Oh, incidentally, Enoch and Jude were both apparently written during the Second Temple period.
Right. So I don't know on what basis that the Third Council of Chalcedon was that rejected or accepted the books that accepted the books that they did. All I know is that those were the most read scriptures in the church, and those were the ones that were most universally recognized at the time.
I'm actually really upset they didn't keep Enoch. I like Enoch. It's a fun read.
Oh,
I haven't read Enoch yet. I haven't read Maccabees.
Oh, I recommend Enoch.
Or Tobiah. I haven't read that.
The reason why they didn't let Enoch in is because it's so bizarre and very fantasy element, a lot of fantasy elements to it.
Yeah,
but it's a neat
and
read.
Stuff, right? Like that kind of stuff, huh?
Angels coming down and teaching man all kinds of science, and God getting all bent out of shape out of it, and then
like the Noah movie.
Then the angels start going into the women because they think that they're hot, and the people then the offspring of them are the Nephilim. And the reason why Noah and his family are the ones saved is because of blood, because they're the only ones not corrupted by the angelic bloodlines.
Which, if that was all true, right? Like if that all happened, I don't think we'd have as much problem with the flood. It'd be like aliens, like it would be like,
yeah. And that's part of why I like it, because this stuff would be just like, yeah, really, come on.
Yeah.
How can you take this that seriously? It's clearly just a metaphor. It's just, come on. It's just...
I got a good question, Max. Do you think that the Nephilim literally, because it is briefly mentioned in another part of the Old Testament, do you think they literally came down and slept with humans?
I don't think that they're angels. I don't.
No. The Nephilim were the offspring of angels and human women.
Do you think that the fallen angels, did that?
No. I actually don't think that they are angels, and that slept with the woman to produce the Nephilim.
Now, what are they?
So, these were probably prophets or those revered by God. Sons of God, for example, isn't just in reference to angels. It's also in reference to, for example, King David, people anointed by God specifically.
Actually, I believe in Enoch, doesn't it actually state that they're angels?
Oh, it doesn't Enoch. I just meant in Genesis.
Oh, okay.
All it says is the sons of God slept with the sons of man.
So when was Enoch written? I have to go look this up.
Around about 300.
Really? I always thought Enoch was an early.
Oh, no. Hang on. BCE.
Oh, okay. I was like, holy crap.
Sorry. I forgot the BCE there. That was my bad.
Oh. Which
would be late Second Temple period.
So would this be more like Jewish mysticism instead?
Okay, during the are you familiar with what happened in terms of the Hellenistic traditions and the Second Temple period?
I know that there was a rift in Christianity where there was at one point a more Jewish tradition of Christianity.
This is pre-Christianity, technically speaking.
Okay.
What happened was during the Second Temple period, especially the later portion of it. At this point, the Greco-Roman Empire had taken over Jerusalem and most of the areas around there. So all of Judea was essentially under Roman rule, or Greco-Roman rules, technically speaking. And what happened was, because the Jews were not very agreeable as a people, and it's almost implied that they were very much trying to start varied revolutions. So one of the ways that they tried to essentially control them was that they went into the temple, the main temple of Judea, and put their own people in charge, people of Hellenistic tradition. And at this point, what happened was, if you want to get a promotion within the temple to become one of the higher-ups, you needed it to be apart from this Hellenistic tradition, because these were the only people that they were bringing up in the church, in the temple at the time. So a lot of Hellenistic traditions started being introduced. This is where the anthropomorphization of the devil and this whole notion of the devil being an evil adversary to God and all this other stuff started being introduced.
So I was
also around the time that books like the Book of Jubilee and what have you were written, which were later thrown out of Judaism after the encroachment of Rome was driven out.
From what I've read, that part of the reason why there was Pharisees and Sadducees was divisions over these type of things.
Yeah, and
the Sadducees were actually, I believe, they were the ones that, if I remember right, they were the ones that didn't believe in angels and demons, and they were actually really less fantastical, and that the Pharisees were more into the angels and demons and spiritual warfare and things like that.
Yeah, the angels, demons, spiritual warfare was more influenced from the Hellenistic traditions.
Or maybe I have it reversed, because I think the Sadducees had more power. I don't know.
I don't remember which is which,
I can't
honestly.
remember.
But what I do recall from my studies is that the Hellenistic traditions introduced most of these concepts. A lot of the talk pertaining to like demons and this kind of stuff, that's really the Hellenistic traditions.
I think that eternal conscious torment hell is Hellenistic.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. It is.
But
it comes from Hades, ultimately. Yeah.
I put it in the category of possibility, and I think annihilationism is probability, and I put universalism as I'm hopeful, but...
Well, actually, the whole heaven-hell thing, the whole afterlife thing really came out of the Hellenistic traditions as well, technically.
Yeah. Well,
I think it didn't. I mean, if you look at the Old Testament, God actually described Sheol as burning with his anger. I mean,
And what was Sheol?
The land of the dead.
No, what was Sheol?
Sheol was the place where the grave.
Yes, the grave.
That's in terms of the etymology, or its word origins, yes, but I think it was understood to be an afterlife.
No, it wasn't, actually, in Jewish tradition. Nor Guyana.
Only when you look at the Sadduceic tradition. Only when you look at the Sadduceic tradition.
Wait, hang on. Sorry, I just fucked up on a word. Not Guyana.
No, the Sadducees...
Sheol, and what's the other? My brain's not connecting. Guyana. Okay, I was right, okay.
Yeah, the Sadducees went one way, the Pharisees went another way, and that's really interesting to me.
It was a matter of whether somebody accepted the Hellenistic traditions or not. And honestly, in my personal read of the text when I was going through it, I really got the impression that what Jesus was opposing was all the changes within their tradition. And after learning about the encroachment of the Hellenistic views, it makes more sense to me, quite frankly, that, okay, that's what he was fighting against, was this introduction of the Hellenistic crap into Judaism.
Which is quite funny, because then his movement would have been far more Hellenistic than the Judaism he would have opposed.
Well, yeah, I don't think things turned out the way that he would have wanted them to either. Quite honestly.
I don't know if the church looks a whole lot like Jesus.
I don't think the church looks at all like what he would have wanted. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to slam the church, but I do think that while we're called to a community, I don't know if we look always like the person that we say that we're trying to follow. So.
Hey Max, is this where I go to my usual argument?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, personally, I don't think that Jesus was trying to say that he actually was God. Right. Other than to say that in a way we are all part of God.
You argue for synchronicity, but I
Yeah.
would argue that synchronicity, like in the Book of John, would be slapped down because the Jews actually found him to be blasphemous when he made an I am claim, and he walked through the crowd as they were about ready to stone him.
John's a later text.
I don't know. The problem is I happen to believe that John is an accurate text.
Also, in
I
Mark,
don't.
in Mark, there aren't the references to Christ being worshipped.
Yeah, he accepts worship from Peter, I believe.
And I don't find that to be consistent with Jesus as portrayed in the other Gospels. Let's see, now there's the, three canonical and the one, what's the other? Non-canonical, I guess? Which one's the which one's the, not canonical, that's not the right word. What's the word I'm looking for, Max?
Yeah, you mean, yeah, I think it is canonical.
Is it? Okay. Which is the one that's the non-canonical?
Oh, John is the non-canonical.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Right, but I believe there is worship of Jesus in the Book of Mark, though.
In the Book of Mark, okay.
In the Gospel of Mark, I mean.
Where? I don't remember it.
Let's see. I think Mark 5:6.
Be right back. I'm gonna grab some tea. Sleepy time tea.
All right. So in Mark 5:6, somebody goes from afar and he ran and worshipped him. Yeah, it was a man who was possessed by a demon.
I can't. My eyes aren't focusing that well. Which part is it that where the worship is?
I'll read it out loud. Then they came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the gardens, and when he had come out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tomb a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no one could bind him, even with chains, because he was not bound with shackle or chain. And chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles were broken to pieces. Neither could anyone tame him. And always and night and day he was in the mountains and in the tombs crying out and cutting himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from afar, he ran and worshipped him. And he said, crying out loud with a voice, and said, What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High? I implore you by God that you do not torment me. And he said to him, Come out of the man, unclean spirit. And he was asked by him, What is your name? He answered, he said, My name is Legion. Oh, you get the rest of the story.
Okay, and at one point did Jesus said, cool, worship me?
Well, he didn't rebuke it.
Okay, and you consider this to be a literal, actual thing that happened?
Well, I do.
You believe that Jesus cast demons into a pig?
Well, yeah, it's part of. Yeah, I believe it's the case. I mean, I do believe in the supernatural.
Wow. Okay.
But if you're not inclined to that, there's verses 9 to 10 in Mark 11. I'll read out the context.
You think that particular account's meant to be taken literally, though?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's supposed to blend in with the narrative. I mean, you could argue it's a later interpolation based on its supernaturalistic elements to it, but there's another. And they spoke to them just as Jesus commanded, and they let them go, and they brought the colt to Jesus, and they threw their clothes on it, and he sat on it, and they spread their clothes on the road. And others cut down the leafy branches from the trees and spread them on the road. Those who went before him and those who followed him cried out loud, saying, Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the kingdom of our father David that comes in the name of the Lord.
In the name
Hosanna.
of, in the name of, in the name of, in the name of, in the name of.
Yes, but this is something that the angels sung to God. If Jesus is commanding his followers to sing that to him while he's marching across Jerusalem, I think that does have some.
Yeah, that whole thing doesn't work for me.
Anyway.
Actually, I'm going to cut the broadcast. Sorry for those of you that may still be watching. What do we have? 8 viewers, but I'm going to cut it at this point because I always have these fights with Max here offline.
Oh, I don't want this to turn into a fight.
It's going to. It always does.
Oh, bummer.
That and well, anyway.